everybody, welcome back to True Crime Metrics. We're going back to Chandler Halderson today. Found this interview today with a woman called Lisa G. That's an alias. Lisa G posed as a love interest or something. I've listened to it twice. I haven't heard about this. But I listened to it twice today. She posed as a love interest to get put on the visitors list so that she could go in there and get a confession. Brilliant. Kind of weird. Kind of a little concerning. I don't know if I'd want I don't know if I'd want Lisa G to babysit or dog sit. But I am interested to hear what she has to say. There are some pretty interesting revelations coming. Most of all, Chandler, behind bars, is still lying and making up stories about his job. How does that work in jail? You know, what is he telling everyone? Yeah, big promotion. They're putting me on dishwashing. Yeah, manager, dishwashing manager chief is going to be my title, yeah. No, I just had the interview. Aced it. No, they said I could write my own ticket. They loved it. He's still doing that game behind bars. That shows, what's the word? A compulsion. He's a compulsive asshole. What else? He is hoping for a second trial. Apparently, he thought his defense should have been more self-defense. They missed that. In fact, they should have blamed it all on Mitch. What else? He feels betrayed by Kat and her mother because they will no longer be paying for his commissary. Big betrayal there. That's coming. And he's also mad at his mom's co-worker because he's the one who alerted this whole thing. Yeah, I really think you should call the cops. You can't blame him for that. That was the normal thing to do, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's play that interview. Welcome everybody in the chat.
Tapes from the Dark Side contains descriptions of violence and sexuality. Listener discretion is advised.
He would call me, once or twice a week when he would get his free calls. I knew not to. He won't talk on the recording. That's why I visited him in person. The first day I sat down with him, he said, "I hope you know I won't hurt you and I won't kill you."
I can't.
I think everyone has a bit of a fascination with the dark side. I myself have always loved the dark side as well. I think it's something that everyone secretly longs for and wants.
It was like 6 months into it. He's like, "Oh, I love you." I went and visited him in person, and he admitted to me that he did do it.
In the last episode, I talked about how I found a forum through the website Reddit where I put out an open call to interview anyone associated with the Chandler Halderson case. And I got no replies, except for a couple of Chandler's.
Hey, somebody just let me know if the sound's coming through on the on the interview because I can't hear it right now, but I'll let it play and sort it out.
Ex-romantic interests who eventually backed out. Well, that's until I was contacted by a woman named Lisa G. On August 22nd, 2024, she messaged me. Hey, I responded in Chandler Halderson's Reddit. I'm willing to interview, not for fame or profit, just to say what I learned over 2 years. Was diced on this sub before too, here's some proof. She sent me a variety of screenshots and a picture of her and Chandler Halderson. We began conversation. She messaged me back. I haven't spoke out previously because I was getting death threats to my Facebook and Instagram, and I was doxxed. I've seen what people thought of me and didn't know how to address it, or it would have blown my cover to him. I see there's someone sharing letters. I do believe it was one of his cellies. He's in the same unit as Chris Watts as well. I had blocked Chandler a while back. Oh, no, I was never in love. It was a ruse for my thesis project. It had to be a current case, and back then his trial was fresh in my mind. I'm a trial nerd. He does have other women, I believe, writing him, and men too. I do have information, and am willing to do an interview with you. I'd like to put out what I know and found out and clear my name. Thank you for reaching me. I'm appreciative. When I finally got Lisa on the phone, we talked for nearly an hour and a half. And I have to say, it was a rather strange interview. It might have been the connection, and there really is a very good chance of that. But it often felt like I couldn't get a question out before Lisa would respond. That could also be the result of being nervous, which I could understand. But at that...
Hey, Shadrach Nobles. Good to see you, man. Everybody say hi to Shadrach. When are you coming on the show for an interview, man? We got to have a head-to-head, you and me. I want to go 10 rounds. Just kidding. We love you. We love you. Welcome anytime. Welcome anytime.
At the end of the day, Lisa provided some fascinating information on Chandler. She even discusses how he confessed to her the crime. This interview left me with as many answers as questions. I wanted to know if I could read a copy of Lisa's thesis. I had questions about the romance, the fake romance that she had with Chandler. I wanted to know more about police sending her into interview rooms to interview potential suspects. And I've already reached out to Lisa. Her number changed, but I've now got her new number. And I'm trying to see if maybe she'd be willing to do a short follow-up interview. But for now, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, if Lisa G is listening, we'd love an interview as well. We're one of the leading experts on Chandler Halderson, so it's always good to speak to people, you know, who have met him in the flesh. That'd be great.
My conversation with Lisa G. Okay, so do you remember the first time you heard about the Chandler case? Was it during, I think the trial was
I got an
going
email
on.
from Court TV about an upcoming trial coming up in January, and that was for his trial. So I had already been watching trials, and so I saw it was a parasite, and so I'm like, well, I'm going to have to watch. So I watched every single day of the trial.
Oh, wow. You watched it live while it was
So I
going
got
on?
the email probably in December from Court TV, and my
I think I've watched it 18 times.
email, like it was before Christmas time, I remember, and then his trial started.
Except for the testimony of Dulcie Millender, I've watched that 39 times.
That January.
So you watched it all live as it was
2022.
happening?
Hello, Michelle. How you doing? Deborah Rockhill. Hello, Jess Ruby. Hello. And Blue Jay Crow. Stacy T. Good to see you. And everybody else. The real DJ Miller. The real DJ Miller. No fake DJ Miller here. The real. Good.
I watched it live as it was happening, yes.
Wow. And then, what took it to the next level? You were going, doing...
Yeah, what took you to the next level? It's quite a level, huh? She says, oh, it was for my thesis. I don't know. What does everyone think in chat? Is that too far? Do you want to fake a romance with a psycho and then go and visit him in the jail? I mean, it does sound kind of fun. But I have questions. I definitely have questions. Spacey Dove. Boom.
I was actually yes, I was doing a thesis paper, and it had to be on a current trial or current case. It was actually 6 weeks of work and parts of this paper, and
Yeah, we got to get that Shadrach Nobles to come on for a tell-all. No, we'd just love to have a chat about anything, about your favorite taco.
trial had just ended, but he hadn't been sentenced yet. And since that was so fresh in my head and I watched everything, I did use his case as for my theses, and part of the theses was the evidence. So I had to only be able to pick one, so I used the fireplace. And I had to go into the theses and kind of like break it down, explain.
By the way, Lisa G, I'd love to have a read of your thesis. You can send that along to truecrimemetrics@gmail.com. Sounds great. A thesis on the fireplace.
It into like psychology terms with the criminal justice and kind of say like why it could only have been him.
Can you talk a little bit more?
He was the only one in the house, and he's clearly fucking weirdo, disturbed, lying, sick man. I mean, you know, I don't need any more proof.
More about the fireplace, as far as you said you had to pick one.
Yeah,
evidence.
so there's one piece of evidence, so I used.
Pick one piece of evidence to do a thesis on. I guess the fireplace is, I mean, it's a focal point by definition, right? Any room, you don't put a fireplace away in the corner, do you? It's the main event. It's what you put all the chairs around. Or maybe not anymore. Now it's just the 60-inch, right? The 60-inch widescreen with the ultra dark blacks.
The fireplace because during the trial it stuck out to me, and the forensic expert broke down just how it all came to being caught.
During the trial it stuck out to me. Yeah. What, the bit about him setting fire to his dad's head? Yeah, I made a note of that as well and highlighted it.
The bone being in the
Trial Watchers Guild for all trial watchers. I mean, Lisa G is a trial watcher. She watched the whole damn thing all the way through first time, before it was cool. Actually, I did. I did as well. I can't remember if I'd already seen the interrogation or if that just came out, because I did happen to catch the trial in January 2022.
fireplace with the, I kind of know a little bit more, but the fireplace, the forensic expert, she broke that down really well. So I was able to piggyback off what I've learned in school and then be able to use what she said and then utilize what I learned. So from the trial, which was the parts of the ash, the pieces going down to the ash trap through to the basement of the fireplace, in those little pieces of evidence, and like all those different pieces of evidence being in there. It's just in that.
You see, you can tell Chandler Halderson has never cleaned up in his life, because all of the stuff, like he cleaned out the freezer, the chest freezer, like really well, but didn't have the brain capacity to understand that there's a little, what do you call it, a sump plug or something, like a little drain for excess water, or when you defrost, right? You got to drain all that out, and that's where they found all the DNA. But you can just imagine. You see, if you never clean up anything, that's the sort of stuff that's not even in your concept, right? You just look at the surface level. It's like, what's the equivalent? The equivalent would be, I'm just thinking of a general, like a not murder cleanup equivalent, day to day. Day to day would be like maybe the garbage disposal in the sink, right? I don't know, because that's pretty much on the surface. I don't know. It'd be like cleaning behind the fridge. Right? Yeah, I cleaned the whole kitchen, top to bottom. Pull the fridge out, it's a fucking mess. Right? That's exactly the kind of thing that Chandler Halderson would do. Right? And he did it on the murder cleanup. Same with the fireplace. Fireplace. Clean up all the ash. Get all of that out of here. Get the dustpan and get all of that out of here. But then there's the ash trap where forensics went down, just immediately pointed out, oh, look, it's a human skull. Tiny fragments. I think it was what was it? 185 individual bone fragments, long bone fragments, skull fragments, whatever, all in the place that he didn't know existed because it's behind the thing that he thinks is where the cleaning ends. But forensics no different because of training.
One alone evidence is just already, without the other evidence of like the luminol and the basement and all the other stuff going on, that was what stood out to me the most when I watched the trial. So I used that fireplace, and that expert witness was really well versed on her knowledge.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting you mentioned that, because that's the exact point we are in our coverage. We're actually, the next episode's going to be ashes to ashes. We're going into the ash trap and listening to Christina Figueroa Soto.
Yes.
I know, I remember her name just because I've
yeah.
been listening to her footage so much in the last few days. But yeah, she does such an excellent job of explaining in understandable terms.
Especially for somebody who's not in school like me. So she explains it very well for people who are just like regular people who watch trial. Since I did get a degree and I do this for a degree, I just, I've been watching it, kind of understood what she was saying, but I feel like she really breaks it down for the public very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the paper, it was like a component of the paper.
So I needed to use, that was for my graduation. So part of the paper when I was writing it was I decided I would try to reach out to Chandler. When I decided to reach out, I kept going back and forth in my head if I should or not. But because the detectives have utilized me to get information in the past, I thought, what harm could it do? I didn't realize that the public and stuff was going to actually find my name and put my name out there and make it more to like assume things. So I wrote him, and I wrote him first.
I did try and cut this down a little, but this intro is a little bit of nothing, but it does get good right in a couple of minutes.
April 15th. 2022, I didn't graduate until May, and so that was, I needed to do that as part of my graduation processing.
Yeah.
So I wrote him on the text behind, because they're when at Dodge they cannot receive like mail. You have to send it through a third party, and I didn't know if I would hear from him. I did not hear from him right away. I remember it was around Easter weekend, and I sent a second like little thing, just kind of like.
They love that third-party shit, the prison system, don't they? Wonder what that costs for that additional party. Yeah, handling fee. I mean, man, what a racket. I mean, I know that it costs money to house prisoners, right? And if there's ways to generate money by, the things that are needed to be done, like mail delivery for prisoners and phone calls and whatever, great, if that generates money. But I think they push it a bit, huh? They push it a bit. I bet the fucking what they get out of the mail fee for every prisoner in the US would pay for the entire prison system 100 times over. Okay? Don't come out complaining about, oh, fucking, you know. It, to the economy, it's a net, benefit. A positive, what do you call it? Jesus, terminology. For the economy, prison is big business, man. That's why they like to, arrest so many people per capita.
Hey, don't know if you want to talk, but here's my phone number. I figured if another inmate got my information or something, I could just block the prison or call and have them block me or something. So, are you trying to do, because I said I was in criminal justice, like I was finishing my degree. He asked me if I was going to be, what did he say, Criminal Minds. I've not personally watched that Netflix show. However, that's where it ties in. A lot of the things that he tried to do to hide this crime was based off television shows and off of what he saw. I'm like, well, I've never seen that show. I do know that, obviously.
A lot of what he tried to do to hide this crime was based off television shows and what he saw. Okay, and by television shows, they're talking about, pretty budget sci-fi movies. The whole thing about wrap your mom's phone battery in aluminum foil and put it in a shoe, that was on a TV show, a Netflix show.
That's kind of like serial killer profile type thing. But I couldn't let him know this kinds of stuff. So I was like, oh no, I was just reaching out. I watched your trial, and I kind of kept it like very like that. So he would call me, once or twice a week when he would get his free calls. And then he started, I didn't give him my address right away, but I did give him my address, and he would send me letters here and there. He can send letters, but like I said, I have to send it through either electronic communication or to the third party, which is still gets sent to Dodge, and they print it out for him. In the beginning, when I wrote him, other people were writing him.
Yeah, there's a printing charge as well. We've got a third-party handling fee and then the printing charge, okay?
So he was getting a lot of hate letters. He was getting fan letters. He was getting just people, just random stuff. In the beginning, he did lie to me. He told me nobody else was talking to him and stuff like that, and that this comes in play because it's going to come into his psychology. So in the beginning, we were just friends, and I talked to him as I was just his friend, and didn't try to get information from him because I knew he wasn't going to say anything over anything. He is trying to appeal, and he thinks he will get out, and thinks hopefully one day there's going to be a legislation change and this and all this stuff. So I knew not to. He won't talk on the recording. That's why I visited him in person. So I just started doing the little Zoom. They had free Zoom visits. So I'd go on here and there and go visit with him. Again, very basic stuff. He told me how he grew up. He told me a lot of stuff about his family vacations, about Bart and Krista, about Mitch.
What did he tell you about the Plymouth High School boys swim and dive team? Hey, Stacy, thank you so much for this super sticker. That is great. That is great. Don't forget, everybody, we've got top refills on buymeacoffee.com all night long. And PayPal also is great.
About his grandma.
Was it
Another
positive
thing is
stuff, or?
It was always positive stuff. I never heard anything. He was never abused. According to Chandler.
Yeah, where's Kiwi Vanderman? Because he's always coming in with the idea that Chandler was abused, and I've never thought that for a moment, really. But apparently not. Mitchell
Had good grades in school, and he used to give his brother rides to and from school because he didn't like to drive, Mitch, and this is allegedly from him. So, but They were brothers.
What is the thing with Mitch and driving? I've never known anybody that didn't like driving, apart from maybe some woman. Oh, well, there's a couple of people, but it's rare. It's rare.
And they did go on family vacations. He talked to me about going to Florida with his dad and brother, and Krista was there too, but they went out to Florida Everglades and went gator hunting and stuff like that. He was in Boy Scouts, and then he went to Eagle Scouts, and he was on the swim team in high school.
Chandler Halderson went gator hunting. Yeah. Was that with Elon Musk, or was that on a SpaceX team building exercise or something? We want to capture a gator and take it to space. First gator in space, Elon Musk did it. He made it happen.
Those three things are true. Now, as far as him being on a shooting team or anything else that was being said in some of the other stuff, he's never brought that up to me. I do know those three things are true. He felt that his family, because Mitch did well in school and he did not do as well in school, his grades were not A's and B's. So he felt that his parents wanted him to elevate himself and do better. According to him, Bart and Krista couldn't understand why he was different than his brother, why he didn't get the same grades. I think in his head, he felt there was some type of competition, or they were trying to make him be like his brothers, how I felt like I got from him. And so every memory.
I think they'd be fine with you not being like your brother. Just, get out of the house. Be whoever you want out of the house. That's our only, hope and wish. Out of the house. You're 23. We had a deal.
He said was positive. His grandma, right now, no, the court has no contact. He's not allowed to contact any of his family, and they're not allowed to contact him. He has had some contact with his grandma on Bart's side, but I know he hasn't taught. It's only through the social worker and
I don't know why the court would put a sanction on the family not to contact him. That doesn't. I mean, what you're saying, if Mitch wanted to contact his brother for answers or to forgive, that he wouldn't be allowed to do that. That seems a bit harsh. He's lost his whole family. He just yeah, not that Mitch would or should want to contact him, but it would be nice to have the option. Sounds like something Chandler might have just falsely reported to, then it's not because they just don't want to fucking talk to you. No, the court said, no, they would be sending me a birthday message and commissary and paying for my noodles. But the judge, mean old Judge Highland, said no contact, can't contact Chandler. Sounds like another lie.
Grandma still will not help him, and basically just wanted to make sure he was all right in there. And I don't think he had heard from her since last Christmas, so December of 2023.
What's the
so
no
unless it goes to a
contact
social
order? That's a
worker.
legal
Yeah,
order?
it's a legal order. If you go in the if you go on the Wisconsin courts,
really?
you can also see it's on there. So people always assume that maybe wonder if his family can contact him. They can't. Even if Mitch wants to contact him, they're not allowed to. It has to go through his social worker at Dodge. So his grandma is the only one that's reached out. Mitch has never reached out, right? So if they really wanted to, he could try to reach out and go through the social worker, and it has to be approved. Then he writes the letter to his grandma, gives it to the social worker. She has to review it and then send it to his grandma. So this is like an extra step where when he sends me the letter, he just is giving it to the CO. Right. So I thought it's because they're victims of the crime as well. So that is why he's not allowed to have contact, and they cannot have contact with him either.
Interesting. Right. Yeah, when I talked to, I don't know if, oh yeah, I think you saw on Reddit, there was a guy who was his bunkmate, and
Yes, I know who that
he
is.
was, he did an interview with me, and he didn't come right out and say it, but he seemed to imply that, yeah, and it wasn't like a direct, he really didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't press him on it, but he did at one point seem to imply that.
Cooking with the Foxes says, I'm obsessed with this case. I still struggle to understand how he thought he'd get away with it. What was his actual plan? I think it was literally just no body, no evidence of a crime here, and then hopefully the police would be able to believe that they genuinely did get picked up by a mystery couple, and that something unknown, never to be found out, had happened to them away from the home, outside of Chandler's responsibility, and they would eventually just get chalked up to missing persons that would, I mean, how long would that take to be able to legally declare them dead and get life insurance? You got to think that they'd have to give it a bit of a margin, right? They wouldn't want to just make that decision without like being really sure, or at least, you know, giving it some time. I wonder what it would be. You'd think it'd be years, but I think we hear of cases where that gets done pretty quick, even with no body found. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've heard of that in a short enough amount of time to raise an eyebrow.
Chandler wanted his defense team to put forth the defense that Mitch had committed the murder, and that's why he wasn't guilty. Did you ever get the sense of anything like that?
I'll be honest.
God, that would have been good, wouldn't it? Because then he wouldn't have even need to have split the insurance with Mitch. Kill mum and dad, frame brother. Everything comes to me. And what would he have done with it? I mean, I think he says to this Lisa G in this interview that he needed that money to pay for the condo in Florida. And it's like, dipshit, what are you going down there for anyway? You're going to actually move to Titusville, Florida for your fake job. I mean, fuck off. You know, if he had have gotten away with it, he'd have done the same game that he was doing, probably with Dulce and Kat, and you know, I think he'd already kind of loosely planned to frame Cress's dad, right? Hide the gun on the property, and then he's saying all that stuff in the interview like, oh, you know, he's an old guy, and he could have shot me if I'd have come onto the property because he's old, but he's a really good shot and he's old, so he doesn't know who anyone is, but he can shoot them from a distance. You know, he must have thought, senile old kook, you know, I could frame this guy for anything. And he wouldn't even be able to testify where he was. Yeah, but he would have eventually, I mean, he just would have run the same game and killed whoever it was next that either became an obstacle or presented as an opportunity, or both.
Honest, I went and visited him in person, and he admitted to me that he did do it. He told me it was them or him. Mitch wasn't even around. He's never brought up Mitch at all or blaming it. He told me that the defense that he wanted was like more of a self-defense. He tried to play it to me The evidence says otherwise, but I kind of know what kind of happened from what he had told me. Ambushing his dad in the basement, ambushing his mom as she walked in the front door. That's why there's drywall missing. Before all this happened, he told me his father and him were renovating the basement. And so he knew already how to do a lot of handiwork, a lot of stuff from the Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts, and a lot of things his dad showed him. So their basement wasn't all the way finished at the time of the crime. And so
Right.
You learn how to put up drywall in the Boy Scouts? It's beginning to sound more and more like a trade school. Yeah, come send your children to Boy Scouts. Learn about the great outdoors, always be prepared. Always be prepared to work in a fucking factory. Yeah. Learn about nature and drywall. Yeah. I wonder what the merit badge looks like for that one, huh? Just a wall. Just a badge with a wall on it.
he tried to spin it to me as more of like that's why he said, I don't want my grandma, she's 90, coming to see me here. And this was in person when I talked to him. He said because she's gonna wonder what happened, and he's afraid if he told her, she was gonna tell the cops that like what really happened, which is what he told me.
Oh, wow.
So and
Why don't we rewind real quick and just go back to that first visit when you went to see him in person? Like, do you remember how you were feeling and just what that was like?
So I went out on a Monday. I flew from Vegas to Wisconsin on September 26, 2022, and I went to Dodge that day, and I went the next day as well. So each time was 3 hours. It's a little scary because I never had to go into a prison like that before. Plus Dodge, obviously, I saw Chris Watts' case. And so I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm even going into this prison right now. Who willingly walks into a prison But the visiting always starts, you have to be there by 3:15. So you have to be 15 minutes early. So I'd park at around 3. And then that cuts into your visit time. So in the visitor's room, you go in, you go through the metal detector. They give you a little stamp. You go through and out, and there's a lot of barricade electronic gates. Then you go to the visitor center, and they have to go get him. And so you sit at this, what I call it, kindergarten table. It's a very little table, and he sits across, and I sit there. He's not allowed to get up during the whole visit, so I would have to get up. So if I wanted to get a soda, I would get up to get the soda type thing. So that's when we were able to talk. He was very cautious of cameras because both days they set us by the camera. So in the visitor's room, there's cameras on the ceilings, but some of the visitors' tables are lacking a camera above it, but the tables they put us at were that. Now, this comes into play because he is on medicine through the prison for paranoid delusions. So he takes medication and he takes other medicine that kind of numbs him out. So I feel like he was very kind of paranoid so he'd be whispering things to me. And that's when he was telling me about the day of everything going down. So I felt a little nervous going in there, and I didn't know what to expect. I gave him a brief hug. You're only allowed a couple seconds, to have contact. Type thing. And so the first day was a little awkward silence here and there because I didn't want to bring up anything and try to badger him with questions. So it was more on the second day is when I was able, because I was able to, I didn't even ask. He kind of was just giving me the information. And this is before this is when he was still working on his appeal before they had filed the no.
Yeah, I want to pull up the hug picture, but just before we do, let's go to our fucking leaderboard and check out first place, Mr. Pinto Peabody, coffee leader #1, buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrics. Second place, Michelle Demetres. Beautiful. And third place, Jill. Good to see you, Jill. Thank you, guys. Leaderboard. Last 90 days. Doing well, Pinto. What is that, the third month running now? Good job. I want to see that hug picture. Where's that hug picture of the crazy Halderson boy? I mean, look at him. He's not right. I mean, I know he's on, what did they say? Medicine from the jail for paranoid delusional syndrome. Yeah, I should fucking hope so. Double his dosage immediately. And there she is. What do you think? Would you do that? Would you go in there and have your picture taken to get the interview? I mean, I guess so. I think it takes a certain kind of person, though.
Merit. So he kept thinking he's gonna get out and he was gonna get a new trial and show that this was self-defense. That's what his end goal was. His end goal is to try to get a new trial. So he talked to me about Mitch. He told me they played video games together, like they did online gaming together, but they were not close in their adult life. He told me he was isolating himself and that the whole reason is he started lying and then he kept lying and he couldn't get himself out of any of those lies. Now, what he implied to me was that Kat, his ex-girlfriend, knew more not of what happened at that time. He did that himself, but that she knew when she was cleaning up on other stuff. Now, this is allegedly, and that's from him. I don't want to, put anything or accuse anybody, but that was kind of what his defense or what he was telling me is. Mm-hmm. And then I told him, well, she offered the phone, so like, she probably, if anybody, I'm sure she probably signed a paper. Also, the friend that gave him the gun, he also said the friend did not know that he did not gift him that gun. He bought the gun from him with cash. He also.
So what, is Agent Smith really going to come in and perjure himself and say, yeah, I gifted him that rifle? I mean, it makes him look worse. Don't gift a high-powered military fucking rifle to someone you are meeting for the first time in your life and that you've only ever played video games with online. That's not the kind of person that you give a high-powered weapon to, okay? Family member, lifelong friend, fine, as long as you feel safe. I think there should, maybe you can't put a law, but at least a policy, right? Gun owners policy. Don't gift weapons to people you don't fucking know.
Also told me, Chandler, that he was, I don't believe this story. He told me, I don't know if it's true or not, but allegedly he told me how he was getting his money leading up to this a couple months before this all went down, and he was running guns and weapons through to Mexico. I don't know if that's even true. Like I said, this guy's very big, he believes some of it.
Yeah. I was running guns to Mexico. And then Pablo Escobar wanted to meet me for an interview, a new position. North of the border drug lord.
I don't even think he believes his own lies.
Who do you think is next for him to say that he's got an interview with? I don't know. I don't know.
I've caught him in lies, and when he's confronted, he gets very angry, and then he actually admits to it. So I don't feel like he believes his own lie. He knows what he's doing. He's very covert narcissistic. He is like, I'm the victim, I'm insecure, but he doesn't actually feel that way.
I think covert narcissist in Chandler's case is just a liar who is a lazy liar, right? It's very similar to covert narcissism, but he's just a liar that can't be bothered to put in the effort to pull it off, right? So he mopes. He mopes his way through a story like this, exactly like this. This effect on the video actually makes him look even more gormless than in real life.
He would call me and talk to me about he has a job, so he worked in the kitchen for a little bit, and then he worked at the dental office, so they have to have a job.
Did he work in the kitchen? What did he tell you exactly? Because he's been lying about having a better job in jail. Yeah, I work in the kitchen now. Kitchen chief. Kitchen deputy manager chief of all kitchens in the jail. They said nobody could do it but me. Doubled my salary. It's $28 a month now.
Out there, he only makes $21 a month, so they don't make
$21 a month. Shit. How many noodles is that? That's like 4 packets, because I know how much those noodles cost in jail. What is it down in Florida? It's like $12 for a fucking ramen noodle. Yeah. Don't be complaining. All taxpayers in America, right? The prison system is making money. Just out of the noodles. Just noodles alone. And they love it, don't they? And that whole thing about noodles then becoming black market trade for whatever, right? Incredible. Commerce just finds a way, doesn't it? It always just finds a way.
very good money there, but he is able to buy whatever he needs because of working facility at the Dodge. There, the classification's a little different. So there is a few family murderers in there. So like Chris Watts and him are in the same unit. Chris Watts is more of in protective custody. However, he has worked out with Chris Watts and them, and they know about me. So Chris Watts will be like, "Oh,
he's worked out with Chris Watts." Well, I bet that was a chatty gym session. The two greatest social skilled people in the jail. Where's Brendan Dassey? He's in there as well. Get the three of them together. Get them to play Kaplunk. What do they play in jail? Checkers. That might be a little bit beyond Brendan Dassey. He got his finger stuck in Kaplunk.
oh, Lisa, this," and they knew my name, which kind of scared me because Chris Watts' mom goes on Reddit, and because Reddit had found me, it kind of spread throughout that prison.
I'll bet Chris Watts' mom goes on fucking Reddit. But she's on there all damn day, fucking blaming Shanann for something. She's never given up. We got to come back to that. I almost wanted to do some Cindy Watts tonight. It's just so hard to choose, but this interview came up today, so why not? Let's check it out. The confession portions are coming up. That's quite interesting. I have no reason to disbelieve this woman, but I guess I shouldn't act like it's 100% verified. Anyway, it sounds legit. I got no issue. I got no issue with what she's saying.
Which made him look good, is what he told me. Because now they think he's like talking to someone, and everybody just made this assumption about me from that, speaking to him. He would say like, "Oh, if they were telling me I didn't do this right today, but I did it all right, and I'm the best person I'm the best one working there, and this kitchen would fall apart if I wasn't working." That's exactly how he would talk.
I can see that as well. He's exactly the kind of guy that would say that, isn't it? I remember hearing someone say that once. Probably before I'd ever had any reason to say it. And I was lucky because I saw what a dick that person looked like when they said it. And I thought, fuck, I'll never say that. Don't say that. Never say this place would fall apart if I wasn't here, because it's not true. It never is. And you just, you're really exposing something unfavorable.
Can you think of an example of, you said you catch him in a lie and he would kind of react in a particular way?
Yes. So when his 48 Hours episode was going to air, he asked me if I saw any preview about his case. And I was like, no, I didn't see anything. I'm like, why? And he started kind of like on the phone, started to get nervous sounding and started kind of getting angry. And I'm like, why are you getting angry? I don't understand. He's like, well, I need to tell you before it airs. I'm like, well, what? He's like, don't watch it. Of course I watched it. He's like, they're going to interview my exes and they're going to say all this bad stuff about me. He admitted to me in person when I went to visit those days that he did cheat on all his girlfriends. He cheated on Kat. He told me the story about how the girl that has been on Reddit, she and Kat, I think, knew each other, were friends in some sort of way, and she had been sick, and so Kat and Chandler had went to visit her, and that's how they started talking, type of thing. But he had been he told me I wouldn't ever do that, though. I don't cheat. So he's like, oh, well, I need to tell you something. I'm like, what? He says, I've actually been getting fan mail and people have been sending me money and gifts. But he told me this whole time that he's been alone, that he didn't have anybody helping him. And so he thought that the 48 Hours was going to actually have.
I know, California Avocado. You know what? Should we take a break from the interview and just check out where Chandler is in the story randomly? Just give it 5 minutes. It's been a while. Let's turn him up.
Word. And put on Daybreak was the Apocalypse show. Daybreak.
Oh, yeah.
Put on that because we're trying to finish it.
On Netflix?
Yes. This is Kat and I still.
Yeah.
She was spending the night. The whole time.
I mean, it's funny that they ended up together because there's something, I wouldn't say they're similar, Chris Watts and Chandler Halderson, but, where Chris Watts was sitting in the interview room and thinking to himself, if I just go through a list that sounds really like clear bullet points and, direct, almost like I'm giving a military report, like he'll go, 08:30, protein shake, went downstairs, did my squats, Nick and Amanda showed up, 9:30, show support. He kept saying that as well. Oh, and then Betty and Timmy showed up at show support, or he just thought, okay, this is my way to just deliver the information. And Chandler takes a different approach, but it's quite similar because he'll just say, focus on the name of the Netflix show, and then go, wait a minute, was it Daybreak, or was it 7 Underground, or was it New Girl?
Dogs are pushing me, nosing me, and everything, and so we kind of stop and stop watching, and she goes to bed. I'm trying to let the dogs out, or at least go back them a little bit, but the fireworks, they couldn't. We get to bed upstairs in my room because she doesn't like the couch, and she had work in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's 10-ish, 10 to 10:30, and then the whole time the younger dog keeps jumping on us. So I leave Kat in the bed and I go sit out down in the couches and chairs down by the real dinner table.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine if your parents have been missing, no call, Nothing. Strange mystery text from the parade at the lake that never happened. I mean, how spooky is that in itself? That would freak you the fuck out, right? We're going to the parade tomorrow. Can't wait. It's packed. There is no parade. There hasn't been a parade for 20 years. Yeah, would you be sitting in here just going, I slept downstairs.
I go sit there and just hang out with the dogs so Cat can get asleep.
Where we first started talking last night?
Yes,
Like
the main
kitchen,
door.
dining room, and the couches? Okay, gotcha.
I sit down there so Cat can get some sleep because I don't work tomorrow. She does.
Mm-hmm.
Then I put the ladder.
What a funny job Agent Detective Chunk had in this interview as well. I mean, there's no training for this at the academy or even detective school, right? This is brand new to Detective Chunk or to anybody else who would have been in his place. New ground. Yeah, but he did great. He did great.
In front of those steps so the girls can't come up.
I'd love to see his notes, because what is he writing down? Is he literally writing down, like, the key points of what Chandler Halderson is saying? Because if that's true, if that is the case, then Detective Chunk's notes are going to be like, 9:30, watched New Girl. Slept downstairs so as not to wake up Cat.
They pee on the kitchen, the tiles, so I cleaned that and well, at least they went before bed, you know. It was.
Yeah, so if you find any Lysol, it's from the dog urine.
The worst thing, they're not gonna go outside.
Yeah.
Then I go to bed. Then it's Monday morning. Cat goes to work 7:50-ish, maybe earlier. Then I'm left to myself, so we put on New Girl on the couch for it on Monday morning. I go back and forth through some video games, and then back. Video games. Back, and then
Those don't like to stand up very good.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to stretch a little bit while I'm sitting. It hurts. So New Girl.
That was almost like some fucking Ouija board shit, wasn't it? The bottle. That was like the spirit of Krista making the bottle point at him.
Video games. This is Monday.
New Girl,
Again,
video
later
games,
I have
this is
a little
Monday.
bit to eat for lunch. Well, at the end of the day on Monday, I did go, for the afternoon, I did go to the farm to talk to Cress and Kat's mom. I told them what's happening with my health, because I had the appointment at 2.
Did you go to the farm before or after?
After, because I told them what happened to me. And I told them the legs are probably going to be permanent, and the headaches should be fixed after the hemorrhage is cleared a little bit. So, now that I'm there, I talked to their mom, and Crest together. And I think Kat's mom is...
Okay, Chandler. You're boring me.
Like more people on there when it aired, I guess he did see that it was, he said that one aunt he hadn't seen in a decade, and his roommate, he told me those roommates didn't know anything I was doing because they were at the place at different times. But then he told me he was like he's talking to women, he was getting stuff from like other men, and he was getting all of his things paid for that was in there. But before all this, he would tell me that, you know, I was the only one. He didn't know if he would be so alone if he couldn't call me, which ended up being false.
So
and a lot of stuff, yeah. So he'd send me home like made cards, and I have one. And so he would, I asked him, how do you know how to word these things? And he told me in the prison library, there's books of poetry and poems and other ways of wording. He's also told me that his whole life has mimicked other people's emotions and how other people behave. And so, like, here's one. So he says, Lisa, another year with you is another year with a full heart and a huge smile. I hope you have a great Easter and eat all the candy. Read from him. So probably from a prison book, but yeah. So he did lie he has lied. I don't even know who else he talks to, but yeah, I'm sure he's still
Another year.
He's been still sending me letters here and there. As I have him blocked, and I haven't been talking to him for months and months and months. And he sends me angry letters. The only emotion I've ever got from him is anger. Or angry, and and then every time I have.
Yeah. When did the anger kind of start coming out towards you?
It started around the 48 Hours episode. So because it hadn't even aired yet. It was going to air, and that's when he started telling me that he had had a lot of other girls writing him. They were sending him money, buying him stuff. Buying his like canteen, like property packages and things like this. He thought that they were going to be on the 48 Hours, and the 48 Hours was going to expose him, and I wasn't going to talk to him. So he had no choice but to tell me. But then it never happened like that. So then we didn't talk. Like I was answering his calls.
He thought that 48 Hours was going to expose him for people paying for his commissary in jail. That should be low down on his priority of worries or concerns about the episode. I think. I mean, that's nothing compared to what you did
here and there. And then he would be very apologetic. I'm sorry. Oh, this. Like I'm not going to talk to anybody. Da da da. So that's not true, because I have a recent one from about a month or so ago that he does say he's talking back with the same girl who was writing him a long time before this 48 Hours episode ever aired. So when he thought he was going to get exposed is the only time he ever tells the truth, and then he tries to play like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
So you got the sense that he was kind of, in your communication, he was always kind of running a romance.
Never honest. Yeah, he was always running a romance kind of game with me, and I already knew that right away. So he would not ask me for like money or anything. Like he doesn't come out forth and asks you. He won't be like, oh, can I have money? He'll do it in a way like, oh, my shoes have a hole in it and I can't get new shoes. Like he'll play off a sympathy type thing, and that's why people need to be leery and careful of him. I already had known.
That's what Katie McBanower does as well. She's always like, oh, it's so cold in here. I wish I could get thermals. Damn it, but they're so expensive.
Although I'm empathetic and an empathetic person, I already knew what he was trying to run game on me. And more so, it was kind of like, since he was calling me here and there, I didn't know how to break that contact besides just completely block and kind of ghost him, which has angered him now. Because he doesn't let it go. Like he doesn't leave it be. So he very much is a very smooth talker. That's what I'm saying, the covert narcissism. he'll play off it like he's insecure and but he's not. And he does it in a very manipulative way where I've dealt with other narcissists who are grandiose, where you can tell that they're very cocky in that from the outright. His is just hidden. And then he has the pathological lying in there. And then very manipulative because he would have,
Yeah, pathological lying. Why would you bring in gator hunting and running guns to Mexico? there's like, that doesn't serve your cause in any way. Neither of those things.
would even, have like write letters or do drawings or paintings for other inmates, and they would send that to girls to like run game on other girls that are in there.
Oh, wow.
So his side is like the family murder side, and then they have like their little like other side. But like we took our picture together that I shared with you, the inmate that was in there for killing his father, and so I had to keep like a poker face because I was like, my energy's being mixed around all this. Now it's.
I bet you could just check whatever movie Chandler Halderson had just seen and watch. I mean, isn't that the premise of Crocodile Dundee 2? Maybe that had just been on in the prison, or on the tablets, because they have the tablets for watching movies. I used to like to play this game where you tell somebody that you've got a really good idea for a movie, and you've got the script and you've got it sent out, and you just build it up enough to the point where they really want you to they really want you to tell them about your idea for this movie, this great thing that you've come up with, right? And then you wait till you've got their attention, and you start telling them, and you kind of take your time about it and set the scene like you're really trying to describe the movie, but subtly to start off, and then more and more as we go on, you just perfectly describe the movie What Women Want with Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt. And you just wait and see how long it takes for them to go, that's what women want. It's funny. Some people get it real quick, and others takes time.
Like not mutually exclusive. I find that out, especially even when I've gone to talk to suspects in my local cases. A person can still have like their human side and show you who they are, and you wouldn't probably know they did something, but then they have the evil to them inside. And that's how he is, and that's how a few of them are when I was in the prison, like interacting. So I feel like it's like, I think everybody thinks like, oh, you're gonna realize this person's a psycho, or they have a certain look or a certain way they act. And I don't find that to be true. They can act just joking and laughing, and you wouldn't know if you walk past them in your daily life. And that's what's really creepy and scary about it too.
Very much like social chameleons. They're able to blend in and hide. How many times?
And it was very hard for me to be in person because every time I was looking at his hands, I kept thinking about him dismembering his parents. So it was very hard for me to try to play it off. But so he has gained a lot of weight. He's like 190 now. Because of the prison food and all that. And he told me that because he was pretending to work and all that kinds of school, he actually was playing the video game and isolating himself in his room. He wouldn't eat. So I think
So he's in jail now, isolating himself in his room, playing video games. Oh. Maybe that was his intention all along. He never wanted to get away with it. He was just like, okay, how can I play video games forever for free? I'll go to prison.
He was arrested, maybe he was like 135 or something around there. So he's pretty tall. He's probably about 6 foot. I'm very tiny. I'm like 5'2". So there is a like a pretty big size difference. And when the first day I sat down with him, he said, "I hope you know I won't hurt you and I won't kill you." And he said that to me.
I hope you know I won't hurt you and I won't kill you.
Oh, wow. One of the first
In
things
my
he
eyes.
said.
Yes. And so that kind of alerted me because I'm like, wait, what is like, how, that's just a weird thing for someone to say. And so I just was like, oh, okay. Like, well, no, you're not going to hurt or kill me because you're in prison.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah. What do you say to that? What do you say to that? I hope you know I won't hurt you and I won't kill you. Nice to meet you.
Was he handcuffed when you talked with him?
no, they're not handcuffed. So they come in and they have a little like station where they have to have strip search, and they come into the visiting room and they're allowed to just walk up to the table, but they're not allowed to get up the whole time. There's guards always constantly around and like walking around all the time. Like I said, ours was always under kind of like a camera. So I know he wasn't, he's very
I hope he has to wash his hands after the search, because I believe part of it would be the whole last chicken in Sainsbury's thing, right?
very, very reserved and quiet. So you wouldn't know he even like if you didn't know the crime he did, you wouldn't even guess that he did that.
Right.
He was polite in person, and he's always put on the mimicking, and that's when he started telling me he's always watched shows, lots of shows, alien shows, which ties into the using the foil on the phones.
Yeah. I got the idea for my crimes from an alien Netflix show. My plan was originally hatched from the game Legend of Zelda. Such a waste of talent.
Very into aliens, very into sci-fi shows. He has watched some of the true crime stuff and some of the
Should have done more of that. Should have watched my show. You know. Any one of these viewers could do a murder better than him. That's my legacy.
fiction shows, which kind of like the Criminal Minds, but like FBI, and have the fictional show. So he's getting his stuff from these TV shows, and he told me that's how he learned to behave, was to mimic other people. He's very robotic, and it's like he does not is void of feelings. Mm-hmm. Unless he does have his angry side. Otherwise, he's very, very reserved, flat.
I've never seen him mimic anything but a douchebag. I mean, what is he mimicking here? Let's go back to the man.
Can't get it out. I don't know how to do that,
Mimicking emotions. Of what?
Then all the way up
Vacuum
to
cleaner.
the laundry room where I found my first aid kit. And I just tried to stop all the bleeding, but it wouldn't stop. So
So there might be blood around, huh?
That blood was all coming from your left foot.
yeah, left foot hole.
Yeah, the left foot hole.
Left foot hole. Yeah. I mean, are we talking massive amounts of blood, or are we talking, a little bit? Like, describe.
It started as drops until I got to the bathroom. And then I got back to go grab my sock.
That left foothold thing, I think that's something that he just incorporated into his daily spiel, right? To anybody, because it's just what the fuck enough that people kind of freeze for a moment, don't they? They freeze and they think, what does that mean? Is that a thing? Or is he did he make that up? Or is he's being funny? Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's kind of funny. And then, because the focus is like on that, it's like a little flag, isn't it? It's like a little misdirection. It's like the fucking ace of hearts just gets thrown across the table. And you don't see the queen of clubs, under the table. That's what it is. It's like a little fucking sleight of hand. left foot hole, you know, and then people are like, what the fuck is that? What does he mean? Is that a thing? Have I been missing out? Is the whole world saying left foot hole and I'm the only one who doesn't know? And then you realize, no, he's just weird. And then you've already missed whatever his deception was, right? It's a flag.
Toned and kind of just like the way he talked. I did go and listen to some recordings that were out with Kat and him and the mother. And the way he talked to them is the same way he talked to me. Oh, how you doing today? Oh, I'm going to be fine. Oh, it's this. He's never been upset. He's never showed any remorse. He's never said he regrets it. He told me he didn't regret anything. When his house sold, I did tell him, you know, your house is for sale.
Really? You don't regret anything? Because he got a life sentence with no hope of parole at age 23. So, assuming that you don't get shivved to death by another dangerous inmate, you know, which I guess the longer you're in prison, the higher the chances.
But I want my kid back, man. That's my child, man. I want my kid, man.
Oh, check that out. Monica just got 60 coffees. Wow, that might be a record. I think it is a record. That is an excellent record. I think that might have just fucking tipped the leaderboard. Let's go to the leaderboard. Quite the, ooh. How do we do a leaderboard now? Look at that, first place. Boom. We got 3 queens here, look at this. And we were just talking about cards. We got a full boat with the ladies doing the paddling. Canadian ladies with massive paddles or kayaks. Yeah. How do we put that up? Put that up. It's a landmark. A landmine. Well, thank you, Victoria Girl, Monica.
And it's sold. I saw it on Reddit, and then he said, "Well, I hope Mitch gets that money for it." That's all. He never brings up Mitch or anything, and he just very void of any type of emotion or feeling of anything he's done.
When he said that, did he seem resentful of Mitch?
He didn't. He didn't seem resentful. He's very flat when he said it. Like, I hope he gets the money from the house. He said, I guess I admit, I would. He's probably married by now. I think that was like at the time. I think Mitch was like, just had a fiance and they hadn't got married yet, and so I didn't feel like there was any resentment in that moment of that. I just kind of like, and that's the time he brought up about his grandma. Like, I don't want my 9-year-old grandma coming to prison, and he was more so didn't want his family coming there because he thinks they're going to ask why, and then they're going to go tell, and he's going to ruin his appeal.
So he's very much.
And I don't know if he will ever.
He's going to get out.
Yeah, and I don't know if he ever will or want to ever talk to Mitch. He's never even brought up the fact of even missing any of his family or Mitch or anybody.
Yeah. I don't think Chandler's going to talk to Mitch. Check out our leaderboard now. I mean, fucking hell. That's a high bar. It's a high bar. Pinto, a lot of catching up to do, Pinto. Michelle, where are you? Don't slip away, Michelle. Monica, top of the table.
His dogs is the only thing he says he misses. Or bring up that he missed is his dogs, his 2 dogs.
Did he mention
So
cats
in his mind, no, he tells me unless I bring her up.
I bet he misses a nice pillow. I bet he misses a nice, clean, warm duvet that his mother did. Yeah. They say, well, it's coming up, but they say that Krista walked in, saw Bart dead, and saw Chandler, raise the gun, and, she was aware. She didn't get shot in the back of the head and not know. She knew everything that had just happened and what was about to happen to her. So that's terrifying.
He never thinks about her, and he doesn't care about her, and he never thinks about her. He recently just said that when I had he kept trying to write me letters, and I told him he needs to start taking accountabilities for his actions and what he's done to everybody else, including me, because he doesn't take any accountability. He doesn't care. It doesn't seem like he even cared. He gave me, like I said, he to me said that she knew what was going on during the cleanup and afterwards, that part of the reason why he did what he did was because he needed the life insurance money so that he could provide her the house and all that in Florida.
Right.
When he did the fall and hurt his neck, he did tell me that he met with them and he went to dinner. So he feels as if his cat and her mother backstabbed him, that they shouldn't have went to court, and they should have had his back, and that they should have defended him, and that he also did lie to me, because I found out recently when I was listening to some of those recordings. He doesn't know that I realized this now, but he had told me they stopped talking to him months and months before they actually really did stop talking to him. He told me they never helped him when he was in there in the county, and obviously that was not true. So it's very manipulative, very he's the victim all the time.
How many times did you go to see him, and when was it on the first meeting that he started talking about?
It was the second time, and on September 27th, 2022. I've talked to him on the phone and stuff, and visiting. Obviously, I'm on the list and all that. He kept wanting me to go back in person, but I just didn't go. I didn't want to go back, honestly. So I kind of was just saying, it's not the right time. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's kind of I just got stuck in the situation, where sometimes I wouldn't answer his calls and sometimes I would. If I didn't answer his calls and the times that I did, he keeps calling over and over. And so I eventually had to end up blocking him from calling my phone. He also spoke to me about very resentful towards his parents. He said how they wouldn't help him. So they wouldn't give him money, and his dad was very frugal, and Krista's helicopter mom, and she was always in his business or going into his room. He told...
Yeah, she was always in my business, She was just busybody in my business. Always, bringing me soda and cornbread. Leaving these little notes around the house. Fucking busybody. I mean, that would drive you nuts, wouldn't it? Fucking everywhere you go, there's a little note from your mother. With someone's phone number on the fridge. Here's a number for Sue in case you need help or soda.
Me that they did not let him, so he couldn't have a car. So up until he did what he did, which was used as evidence in the trial, because I could think he was driving his dad's Subaru, which was something very rare. He didn't even have a car. It was Kat doing everything for him. And that's why I don't believe him about him going to Mexico or all that, and that he had his own money, like he said to me. Because
Yeah. What are you gonna go to Mexico for your gun export business and your dad's Subaru? Without him noticing? Because he doesn't let you borrow it? You're not borrowing the car. No. And he's like, well, they wouldn't even get me a car. What? Well, I couldn't go anywhere. Listen, Chandler, I've got 2 words for you. Bicycle. It's you can get one on Craigslist for $40. You can find one by a dumpster. Right? Fix it up. There's probably one in the house. They had a garage full of shit like that. Bikes and toilet paper.
He was asking her for like $5. So I don't believe that. So in person, he told me his parents would not give him any money. They wanted him out of the house. He believed that his dad, he didn't know until the discovery came out that there was never actually an interview with the college. So when Bart told him, we need to go to the college, we're going to, you see what's going on, have a meeting at the college. That is why he laid in wait and ambushed his father in the basement, because he told me he thought he was going to get forced to go in the car and then he was going to go to the college and then his...
Yeah, you could probably rewrite this into period Shakespeare, right? The son, there's a fake appointment at the college. That'd be a great project. Set the whole thing in Venice.
Whole lid was going to get blown on this lie. And that is also why he unplugged the computer. He's very, watches a lot of stuff, so he thinks everything's listening to him. So he thinks your computer's listening to you, or your software can
Even
listen
before
to you.
he did the crime, he was in that paranoid mindset.
So he's been in a paranoid mindset. And because of his lies, so he told me he was trying to back out of the lies. So when he said he did kind of fall down the stairs and did have a little bit, like kind of did hurt himself. He did trip on the dog. He just exaggerated it more to get out of, I can't go work at SpaceX. I need to get out of this with Kat and her family. And so when he told me they go to Buffalo Wild Wings for the Tuesday Wings special every Tuesday. And so he told them there, and he told me that he never asked to live there. The mom asked him, but again, he's going to make himself be the victim. But he was trying to get some...
Yeah. I never asked to live there for free and get all my food paid. No, they wanted me to do that. My mother made me stay and eat and sleep.
Somewhere to stay, because he already kind of had he was trying to get himself out of these lies. Because he's like, to him, he had been lying.
He was trying to get himself out of these lies. What, by falling down the stairs and demanding that the doctor give him a neck brace? I was trying to get out of these lies. I got a job with Elon Musk.
So he was lying about his job. He was lying about going to college, and then he was just lying about everything. And he told me he didn't want to lose the roof over his head with his parents, and he felt that they would kick him out and he was going to be homeless. So instead of him just being, an adult and trying to actually get a job or tell his parents or like say the truth, he took it to the extreme level because he just thought all of his lies are going to be exposed. And that is what he told me.
So he admitted to the ambush approach on it.
Yeah, I mean, just think for a minute what that would have looked like. So, Chandler, Bart and Krista, I mean, they maybe they wouldn't have told Kat necessarily by going and reporting it to her, but they would have put some kind of sanction or new demand on his lifestyle that would have made it very obvious to anybody that was close to him that something was up, right? Big change. What do you mean that you have a curfew? Or whatever it would be. Whatever it would be. You're going to military school. So then Kat would have known, what, there's no SpaceX? Titusville was a lie? And you're not a scuba diving astronaut? The works of American Family Insurance? That was all a lie? For years? Our whole relationship? Yeah. And then I didn't really seem to have friends, did he? It was just all people that were peripheral to his existence. So they would have fallen away quite easily. And then everybody would have fallen away. And what would he do to correct it? I mean, he could have started again. Easy. Wouldn't have even taken long. He was 23. I mean, take a job. Try a new city, a new state, a new country.
We'll be right back after a quick ad. If you want to skip the ads, then consider joining us on Patreon.
Yeah.
He admitted.
Join us on Patreon, Metrics Patreon. Have we put the link in the description? Probably. I tell you what, there is a link in the description for buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrics. And that is a great way to support the channel, to support episodes, to support content, to support truth, to support lies, to support crimes, and live streams, right? Or PayPal.
To the ambush approach on his dad, but he also
And
had
his-
this
and his
idea
mother.
of like a self-defense. Can you? How did he explain that? Do you remember?
So that day that they were supposed to go, I think it was around like 3 p.m. or so, he said that his dad was trying to find him and calling out for him, looking for him, and he already had the rifle. So the reason he had his vape hidden is because his family doesn't even agree. They didn't want him smoking or vaping in the house. So he was hiding the vape and the parts of the vape in the wall with that gun, because he told me his family was very liberal and they wouldn't be okay. They weren't okay with the vaping, and they were not
Hiding the vape in the wall. Why don't you just go outside? Oh no, you don't like daylight.
okay with having a gun in the house. So they didn't even know about that gun. So it was already in the position of that. So that night before, when he was texting Kat, his mind was already spinning. He told me that he needed to do something because he overheard Bart and Krista talking and them saying, like, Bart, like, hedging on that this is really what's going on. He's like, didn't finish school, and they were kind of questioning, like, why didn't he just tell them? And he overheard a conversation. That's when he texts Kat, like, I think that he said something about, like, his life's fucked up or something like that. And so his head already started spinning. And so when she left for work and he was home, and his dad told him they had that meeting, he believed there was a meeting. And I think that his dad was probably just going to confront him, ask him what's going on. That's why he asked his mom. He delayed his mom's time coming home with the soda because he was lying in wait, because he told me his dad was looking for him. And because the basement still was not finished, there was a little side room. They're like kind of off to the back where you can lay and like stand in, and he could come out. And his dad walked down to find him. He just put the gun to his dad's back and shot him. So to him, his dad never really confronted him, but he wanted to spin it like that. In his head, he's self-defending himself because they're going to find his lies and they're going to kick him out. And then he told me when his mom came home after she came home at 5 something, he ambushed her when she came in the front door, and then he brought her down to the basement.
Wow. And he ambushed her and then took
And that
her
is
down.
why there's the pieces of drywall missing, he told me, because he had to cut the blood evidence out of the wall.
Oh, wow.
And he also told me it was over a few days. That's why he wasn't seeing Kat. So he didn't just do this, like, dump their bodies in one trip. He told me he took extra trips in the day and at night to different rivers in Wisconsin to cover it up. And that's why he was Googling, because he was all paranoid that he was going to get, like, the bodies were going to be discovered. So he tried to burn them at first and realized how hard it was when it blew up. Now, me, as I listening to this and I study this, I know forensically you cannot burn a body. That's not how it's going to work. He did not. He sees this on a movie. He get this from a movie and tried to do what he sees on a movie in real life. When that plan didn't work out, he had to start going to dump the body parts. He told me he couldn't lift his parents. It was too hard to move them. And he told me in person that it was hard to dismember them as well. He said, it's not like the movies or the TV shows. I could barely cut through. And it was very hard to sit there and hear all that, but, and me to speak on this right now because it's very just gruesome. And he did it over a period of days on days at different places across Wisconsin, in places he was familiar with and had been to. And the reason why he did it on the Kat's mother's, property there, because he didn't think the cops were he thought he was smarter than the police and that the cops were not they'd have to get a search warrant for the property. Never thought she was going to call in anything with the turkey vultures. So he figured that the best way was like, they can't get a search warrant. Her mom and now Kat and them are going to protect me, so I'm going to use their property. It'll be harder to get a search warrant than how he was leaving the body parts throughout like Wisconsin River and all those kinds of stuff. He used to go fishing a lot, so he knew a lot of different spots. A lot of spots with his dad and parents and Mitch where they went fishing, and that he would go swimming with Kat and friends from high school, he told me. So he utilized familiar places. So I don't know where else but he went to different rivers, over the course of days, and he did it in the day and at nighttime so that it wouldn't be caught. And so he utilized the freezer, and he put the body parts in the freezer on ice and then took his backpack. He told me because his garage how his house was set up, his garage is connected. So you pull into the garage and you can go into the house from the garage, but you can shut your garage door. That was how he was able to kind of get away with loading into the trunk of the car.
Did he ever say directly that Kat was helping him, or did he kind of imply it? Or
He did. He told me, he's told me a few times, he said that she knew when she was cleaning up the blood in the bathroom because there was so much blood that she knew, and that they had to talk in person without their phones and stuff electronics being present so that nothing could hear. Now, I don't know if that's true, that she knew because that was the only way. In his mind, she really wanted to be with him and start a life with him and want this house and all this stuff that he couldn't even do. So he wanted that life insurance money. And so that he told her, we're going to be fine and we're going to be set because I'm going to get this insurance money. That's what he told me, that she thought that they were going to. And that's why I think it's a little touchy, because then he felt like the mom and them, he always led me to believe the Kat and her mom did kind of know more, but I don't know if they really did or if they really just believed him because he's so manipulative. But he told me that when she was helping with the cleanup process.
And he said,
and it's a little weird because he was driving the dad's car, and any other time before that, she always had to give him a ride. So he said if she was working, and she was a pharmacy tech, if she was working or something, he didn't have a ride anywhere, and his dad would not let him use his Subaru, and his mom worked too, and they were he said his dad was frugal, and his parents did not want him using the cars, and they would not even buy him his own car. So he didn't have anything. I think he was just resentful because he sees he's just home and he has no way to even go anywhere. I think he did this as a way that he thought he'd get a house, money, have car.
Has anybody in chat ever ridden a bicycle before? It's got two wheels, pedals, spokes. I mean, you can cover some distance. It doesn't take long to do 20 miles. Well, maybe, I don't know. What's the average speed for a bicycle? $20 miles an hour? Probably about that. Unless you're going downhill. But then you got to come back up.
And even at the time, he still didn't even have that much money, because he told me he didn't even have really money to eat or anything like that. He was using his dad. He went to used a free coffee, and he was using different reward points and other food and stuff like that to even get by.
God, imagine that, huh? Your fucking parents won't give you any more money. There's no more cornbread in the house. And you're resorted to what? You're going through looking under the fucking sofa cushions for coffee, quick trip reward point cards so you can go and try Kruger Gold. Or it's actually not called Kruger Gold, is it? What's it called, Christina? For years I've been calling it Kruger Gold. But it's something different.
He told me he was going to try to find a job. And I'm like thinking, like, find a job now, like after he's already done all this stuff. So he was very very delusional, like before he got caught. Yeah, so in between there. Yeah, so he was like in the stages of cleaning and all that. So he said when she brought the Swiffer and the H2O and all that kinds of stuff, that she did know that what was going on. I don't know if she really did, but that after that, he thought he would get away with it, and then he was going to try to find an actual job.
Get a job.
But he would keep
I remember
their
he
house.
put that in his notes app. Get a job.
So he did think that he would.
Yeah, his notes. Get a job, take your shit upstairs, floors and doors or something. What was it?
Yeah. And he's never really worked because he lied about it. He's never really held a job. Even at the prison, he's kind of switched around jobs. Been in
Karuba. Okay, good. Thank you. But that's the other Christina. That's weird. Any Christina will be able to tell you the name of a cup of coffee if you ever get it wrong and forget.
trouble. Like it's just like very lazy. Wants things handed to him.
Now you said he couldn't lift. Did he told you he couldn't lift the bodies? Did he say
yes,
someone
he told me
him?
That's why he told me that's why he decided to dismember them because he could not move them.
Makes sense.
And that he told me he was eating at the time and stuff like that because being isolated in his room, whatever, and pretending to work in school. And he was already 130. I think he was only like 135 pounds. So he physically couldn't. And he did say he compared it to a movie and TV show. It's not like the movie or TV shows. I couldn't move them. And he had to move them all the way from the basement to go to the garage that's attached to the house. So he decided to dismember. And he also told me the dismemberment was actually harder than he thought. He thought he was going to be able to just saw through and all this stuff. He used multiple different tools to try to cut through because he couldn't get it to get the bodies to cut. So he went out and got ice, and then he pulled all the fruit out of his chest freezer that was down.
You know, when you go out into the world after just struggling in the basement, going through all the various cutting tools in the house, tree loppers and hatchets and hacksaws, whatever, pliers, and you've been struggling, and then you finally go, right, I gotta get out of here and go and get some ice. And then you have to go out into the world, right, and come face to face with other human beings who haven't just been cutting up a body, right? It's pretty hard to imagine how you might relate to casual eye contact with a stranger, right? Over a convenience store purchase or whatever it is, right? You got to think that there must have been an aura about him that day of just anybody that was encountering him, coming around his activities. Something up with that guy.
Down you stairs, put the ice in there.
Aside from the fact that he's been awake for like 8 days.
And then put the body parts in there and move them. He told me over days.
How are you feeling when he was telling you all this? Was it surprising you that he was just opening up about it?
I was not so surprised just because of the detective sending me in and like having people talk, and it took me months and months and months to like get any of this rapport so he would even tell me anything. But I was very gross and sickened and like very gruesome, and especially of losing my own mother. I don't understand, because he always said his parents were always, he told me his parents were loving and stuff like that. It wasn't even anything to do with that. It was just to hide up. He said he lied for too many years that he couldn't get out of it. And he said that they kept nagging. It's like his words was nagging. Like when they would go and her mom would be like, "Oh, what are you going to provide for my daughter?" He felt very, how he said, was very pressured by everyone and pressured by his family. Why is Mitch like have this life and have a house, and you're still in our house and you still don't have anything? Where's your paycheck? Where's your degree? And that's when his father started catching on, and that's when he said the night before, he overheard his parents talking in their room, and Bart telling Krista that he knew Chandler was lying and he really didn't finish school, and that's when he told him how he called the college, and then the next day, that's when he was gonna they were gonna go. He thought they.
Yeah. Are you not buying it, Cindy? Cindy says, "Oh, sure, now I'm going to go and get a job." Yeah. No, that's really good timing because I was just about to go and get my job. Yeah, now I'm ready. I did the whole neck brace thing. I did the whole escape from Tarkov thing. I did the dismember my parents and set their heads on fire thing. And now I'm going to do the job thing, right? We're ready. We're set.
Actually had a meeting. Unfortunately, I don't know I think he would have done it either way. But there was never a fight. His dad never got to confront him. He told me his dad didn't even know what happened. Like his dad never saw him.
Wow.
Because he came out and his dad's back was to him, and then he just put the gun to his back. So his dad never even probably knew what was even happening to him in that moment.
Oh, it's the same Christina, but a different account. Wow. You kind of you like to jump around a little bit. Is that it?
But his mom was there. Did he
mom
say?
Knew.
Okay, should Detective Chunk have that firearm just like right there? I mean, it's not even got a little clip over the top. I mean, that could be grabbed, but look at the size of Detective Chunk. I mean, he could break Chandler's arm with with one blow of his breath, just a really hard blow, like your like the birthday candle blow, a power blow.
Did he say
she came in the front door
crying?
And she came in the front door and she had the soda and stuff, and he just came out from the side and then he shot her twice. And then he had to try to drag her body down to the basement. Or? He dragged her down there. Because he had a hard time, it was like taking him, like he said, it was really hard for him, hard with he said, I wasn't strong, I didn't know, so I was like, he would utilize, that's why a lot of the stuff was moved in the living room, because he was trying to utilize different pieces of like carpet and other stuff to help drag the body, to bring it down into the basement where his dad already was. The reason he had his mom be delayed is because he was trying to already cover up what he did with his dad, so that when she came home, he was going to be set up for her. So she walked into the situation when she thought she was just coming home from work.
Did he say if she knew, or did he shoot her from behind?
She knew.
Just imagine that. The last day, your last day, and you spend it going to work at the, well, it was a dealership. Which one? Some dealership. I think it was Volkswagen dealership, and then you have the commute home, and your last thing that you do is go into Quick Trip to buy soda for your son and ice. and cornbread. And maybe something sweet, because he's just such a good boy. And then get back, boom! 2 in the head.
She knew.
She knew. Wow.
She saw him before.
Can you
What
talk a
she
little
thought
bit
in that moment.
about, you said detectives will send you in to kind of get information. Like, what's
Yes.
that like?
Yeah, what is that? The detectives? I thought she was doing this for her thesis. Now they're on about detectives sending her in to get information? What? Who is this woman? Lisa G. Reach out.
Detectives will
Laura Dumont. Hello.
send you in to kind of get information. Like, what's
Yes.
that like? Or how did that start?
Yeah, so because I am a missing person advocate and I have my degree and all that, I've worked with some of the detectives in Vegas and Carson City. They won't talk to some of the police. So, and I've been on this case for 4 years now, and a mother was missing her son. They're actually from California, and they were doing a kind of deal out here in Nevada, illegal kind of drug trade type weed thing with cash. And her son went missing. And they sent me in there to talk to they sent me in there when they finally caught on to the suspects. They tried to flee the country, so I think the FBI and them raided them in Montana, so it ended up being an FBI case. And so before it turned to an FBI case, it was just little Mono County, little small, like he's the only prisoner in the, like, not prisoner, but in the jail, him and his wife and someone else. But they would have me talk to people to try to figure out where, people's remains were. And I would actually go on search parties and lead search parties, search and rescue, to help try to find, and we did end up finding her son, but they dumped him 80 minutes away. So every area we were looking was actually wrong. And so the detectives would coach me and tell me, this is how you talk to someone. And they told me how you want to utilize, it's kind of manipulation back to them. You don't want to sit there. You don't want.
Pause. I need a bit of Dulce.
Go ahead and replace your masks, please.
Miss Mellinger, do you see Chandler in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you tell me where he's sitting and kind of describe what his clothes are today?
He's wearing a blue tie and kind of white.
And is he sitting to my left over here?
Yes.
I'd ask the record to reflect identification.
It will.
Oh, if ever there was a woman who didn't know where she was or why she was here. Did no one sit down with her beforehand and explain the loose format of proceedings? Because she is at sea.
Your daughter, in the course of dating Chandler, sometimes stayed with you and sometimes she had her own apartment, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what types of things would you do where you would see Chandler while they were dating?
He will cook, we will cook, or we will be...
Yeah, he'll cook. He'll say, oh, I'm going to come over. I'm going to cook you a special meal. Yeah. I'll give you a list for everything I need to cook for you. And then I'll cook you a special meal and eat with you. So, let me know when you get back with those steaks. The good ribeye, yes, Argentinian beef. It must be Argentinian beef. Or whatever is the best one. Kobe. We're going Kobe. Yeah, and what else? What else? What would be the fanciest? Because that's exactly what he did, right? All this stuff of he was a really good cook. No, what happened was he said, I'm going to cook for you. Here's a list of everything I need. Let me know when you get back. Then he cooks, uses every fucking pan and measuring part in the house, and leaves it all on the counter and in the sink in a big fucked mess. Then you all eat, and he treats you to watching his favorite Netflix show. Until it's almost time to go to bed, and then you, not wanting to leave the kitchen in a mess for the next day, but feeling too, maybe not guilty is the right word, but, like it would be rude to ask him to clean up. So, of course, you volunteer to take care of the kitchen and put everything back just the way it was. So what's happened? He's eaten for free, invaded your home, used your entertainment system for his own selfish gains, and had you clean up. And the next day, he's going to be borrowing your car for the weekend. Or, Monday. Well, he'll let you know when he's finished.
Order beat-ups.
B-dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yes.
Okay. And would you see him every day or every...
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You know why he loves B-dubs? 2 for 1, Buffalo Wild Wings. Because, do you think they split it down so they each pay half? No. Chandler's gift to Dulce is to allow her to pay the whole cost. So she has the pleasure of buying him a meal, but it doesn't cost her any more than the normal value of the portion that she receives on that day, right? He's not taking anything from her.
Every week or a couple times a month?
Repeat the question again.
How often would you see him?
Often when Catherine wasn't home, yes.
Were you aware from Chandler if he had a job back in 2021 before all this happened?
He was working at what is the name of that? Can you give me a second?
Yeah.
He was working at the swimming. I think he was the DNR or yeah.
Do you know what he was doing for them?
Well, he's a good swimmer, so he wasn't called to.
To be fair, that Dulce wouldn't be the hardest person in the world to lie and create a fake life, would it? She's like, hey, so what do you do? And he's like, I swim for the police. And she's, she accepts. She doesn't ask questions. I swim for the police.
I don't know, to rescue, to see something on the waters. I really, but it was something with the DNR, I remember.
He would get called to the rescues and things like that?
Yes. Very, I think it was very, yeah.
At some point, did Chandler get another job that you were aware of?
Oh, yes. I took.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Tell me about, what job was that?
That was the American Family Insurance.
And what sticks out to you about remembering about Chandler working at American Family Insurance?
Well, I took him out to eat because he got the job. But he was, he had people, a group of people, they were putting on for him. Yes.
So you took him out to eat when he got the job?
Yes.
Where did you go to eat?
Oh, Mexican Rositas. He likes the tacos.
And was this kind of a celebratory?
Mexican Rositas in Madison is not a good place. Don't go there. We'll bring it up.
Or did people dress up and things like that?
Yeah, he was dressed up really nice.
And did Mr. Halderson or...
But to be honest, it's world-class dining compared to the Mexican restaurant where it's shut down now. But the Haldersons used to go there with the Hilgendorfs, all as two big family groups, and you should see what did they have there? I saw. I don't know what it was. We'll see if we can bring that up too.
Did Chandler tell you about the job that he was getting at American Family Insurance?
Briefly. It was something about computers. You know, he's a computer guy.
Sure. And he was dating your daughter at this time?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Were you happy that your daughter's boyfriend had a job?
Yes.
Was that important to you?
Objection.
Yes.
Overruled. The answer can stand.
What did that mean?
No, it was all legal nonsense. We'll just, it's all right. So after the time you take him out to celebrate getting the American Family job, you get Mexican food. Did Chandler ever talk to you much about his job at American Family Insurance?
Yeah, he was working at home.
Okay.
That's about it.
Did you know anything about exactly what he was doing?
Just computers.
Did you know? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I think it was just computers and
I swim for the police and computers.
also I think it was just computers.
Thinking back to that dinner where you were celebrating him getting the job.
You know, the next time somebody asks me what I do, I am definitely going to say I swim for the police and computers. And it's going on a mug. I love that. There's so many great lines out of Chandler Halderson. You know, probably enough to do a whole collector's edition pack of cards, right? I swim for the police and computers. Love it.
At American Family. If you had to give us kind of an approximate time, do you know when that was?
I think it was afternoon, mid-afternoon maybe. I don't quite remember.
What time of the year?
Oh.
Do you know if it was in the spring? Do you remember at all? It's okay if you don't.
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Who all went to that dinner?
Just him and I.
Oh, okay. You two together?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked him to meet me there.
Okay. Whose idea was it to go out?
Mine.
And because he had gotten the job?
Yes.
Okay. And you paid for dinner, I would imagine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So other than knowing he worked on some computer stuff and for American Family, did you know anything else about that job, really?
Well, he wanted to do
just computers. He swim for the police and computers.
the solar panels, but I don't know. I don't know. The American Family was getting him for the solar panels, but I know he was very good in computers.
Sure. Was Chandler around this time? Was he going to school anywhere while he was working at American Family?
Okay, well, while Dulce is thinking of the answer, we'll
a badger with questions right away. So I never asked him. He offered the information to me, Chandler. And so that's kind of like what I would do. They send me in, but I would go in as if I'm like, you know, just this normal person, like, hey, okay, not really say that I'm working with the police and things like this. And then I try to figure out and get them to talk to me to figure out where remains are so that I can reunite the person with their family.
Wow.
And so those people did get caught, and that's now a federal case, and the trial is this year. So we did find her son but it did take us two years or so to even find her son. So there wasn't very much left, but she at least we did a celebration of life. I helped the family plan it all, and so what I did was I went out to California and Redding, and I helped with the mom. I helped, like, she went to different events. I also went to lawyers with her, so I kind of knew and utilized all my kind of tools that all the detectives and I've used to, locate missing people. I've had local cases like a husband kill his wife and try to like that type. That one was a weird case for me because he was calling in false tips. So whenever I would get these leads or tips, they always somehow linked back to him. So we kind of started knowing. He did get guilty. He didn't get we have death penalty here. He didn't get the death penalty because he did take that plea. But yeah, so I've been doing it before I even knew Chandler's case since 2020. So I kind of just utilize my empathetic and just kind of like giving my ear. So it was hard, and I still think there's things that he didn't tell me, and there's probably stuff that I still don't know about everything. I don't think he said everything, and I think that he played victim a lot. Because he did that. He's always said he did it by himself to me, and I don't think he had any help at all with anything. I don't even think Kat knew that to clean up. I think she just was manipulated and brainwashed. I don't think that people want to believe that someone like that could actually, he's very reserved and quiet, so I don't think they thought he was even capable of doing that. I just don't understand because they did find the body on the property type thing, and that's what he was saying, why they didn't cover for him, that they knew, which always was a little weird to me because it is kind of true. Like if someone if there was a body found on my property and it was, I don't know why they were still talking to him. But they were sending him like money and gifts and sweatshirt. He said he still had a sweatshirt from them. They could just have been very manipulated by him and just not wanting to believe it. How he talks on the prison calls is how he speaks to Nick. Hey, how you doing? Like, oh, what's going on today? Like you would never even know he did anything.
Yeah, it seemed like they just didn't want to accept the fact. And it sounded like, too, that might have been part of the reason Dulce and her fiance broke up, because I know they shortly after.
They were fighting over it. Yeah, they were fighting over it because I think that what he said, so he lied to me. So he told me they stopped talking to him sooner than they did, but they actually talked to him for a lot on those recordings. And I had confronted him again. I guess he got angry and said, I don't know why you keep bringing up Kat. I never think about her or her mom. And who cares if my timeline was off by 4 or 5 months? What? Right. 4 or 5 months they still talk to him. And he's telling me they abandoned him and they left him and they got him in trouble and they knew what was going on. But but that's it. They were sending him stuff, and she said that the mom would, send. He even still has a sweatshirt to this day from the mom.
So you saw him the September 26th, September 27th. Did you see him?
And I went back home on the 28th. No,
and
not in person, just on video. Yeah, the 28th I went home, so I didn't see him. I only went to Dodge 2 days.
2 days. And then was that, you said a Zoom call on the 28th?
We've been, I don't even know how many visits we have. I'm sure you could pull it up. I know someone had it on Reddit a while back, but I guess it got deleted. When we were doing the Zoom, those weren't recorded. Then they switched over to go through the same phone company, ICS Solutions. You could schedule a visiting on there. He can or I can, and you'd get a visit on there, and we would do those visits. And he doesn't talk on that one because those are all recorded. He talks, but he won't talk about that stuff.
When it's
there's
recorded,
times on the phone calls, there's phone calls we talked about his appeal, and he told me about that no merit because the lawyer didn't think there was any grounds for appeal. So I know he filed an appeal on his own. So he's going to try to fight this still, but
Beth, it's it's an interview with someone called Lisa G, who got into a correspondence relationship with Chandler Halderson. Kind of posed as a love interest, visited him in jail, and had some revealing conversations with him, as she is reporting here in this interview.
his own lawyer with the other people. There's that guy, that pastor that killed his family. So he's in there with another guy. Chris Watts is a mentor in there and like does like a ministry thing. And then this other Christopher.
Chris Watts is in there as a fucking minister. Come on. What does he say? The great thing about God is he forgives. Even in prison. Where we all are.
This Christopher guy, he's his inmate mentor, and so they're all like trying to get themselves, so they're trying to like help him with his, because he wants a new trial.
And
It's
did
not
you
gonna
say
happen.
he wants to go for some?
Gotta get that new trial. How do I get that new trial? What I need is a defense that focuses more on self-defense. Or blaming it on Mitch.
Kind of self-defense?
And I asked him, why didn't he do that the first time? Why didn't you do that at trial? What, your public defenders kind of just, didn't have any defense. I've never seen a trial like yours. That's another reason why I used his too, because I have watched a lot of trials since the 90s, and most times someone has something, or they're picking at witnesses, and his kind of like, nope, no questions, no, nothing. And he said, oh, I did have a defense, but they wouldn't go with his defense, which was the self-defense, because the evidence doesn't align with the self-defense. That's why the public defenders couldn't help him. Those clothes were from his public defenders. The suits he was wearing was the same one. They gave him his clothes. The public defender's office has...
Hey, check this out from our twitchy-fingered t-shirt genius, Victoria girl. Quick on the button. How fast was that? I swim for the police. And computers. I love it. Got the badge on there and everything. And then a swimming man and a computer. I mean, it works on all levels that we were just discussing. And it's instantly available on True Crime Metrics merch. The best merch. I mean, it's not available right now, but it will be by tomorrow morning. Or late afternoon, but definitely not before evening.
The clothes they can borrow and stuff like that. And I asked him what he was doing. I said, this is in person. I said, what were you doing with that paper and pad? Were you doodling? He laughs. He said, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I was. I didn't even pay attention to any of it. It was boring. I don't know how you watched it. So he didn't pay attention to any of his trial, according to him, and it's boring. He only paid attention when Kat spoke because he felt that she betrayed him.
Yeah, I got that sense too.
And
that
that's
he
why,
felt betrayed by her.
he felt betrayed by her. That he did this because and because they stayed talking to him, I think he felt like he felt very betrayed by her, and he always like, oh, I don't care about her, but no, that's not. So I feel like, he probably is very resentful because he thinks that he was going to have this life with her, and then it didn't end up that way. And then he finds out during the discovery process, awaiting his trial, that now the mom called, there was turkey vultures. Oh, she gave her phone, up. Because he told me the reason he hid those phones with a paper towel and the foil is he watched a show that it jams the signal. It's an alien show, a sci-fi show. And he always joked around with me one time, like, oh, I was like, there's a storm coming. It's very rare for Vegas. So make sure you put your tinfoil on so that the aliens don't come get you. So he's very show, like Star Trek, that kinds of stuff. So in his head, he thought that the phones wouldn't be traced because he wrapped them in foil.
He forgot the most important part, which is don't hide them in the in the house, or in the garage. I think they were. Can you talk?
And that was the thing. He was mad because he told me, I was really mad because his mom's coworker is the one that alerted this whole thing, and then he said Kat and the Dulce and the co-worker, and then made him go to the police and say that they were missing because it would have been out of character. So he didn't know, in his head, he didn't think anybody was going to even miss his parents. He was just
he
gonna
was
just
so
be wipe his
deluded.
hands with it. Yeah. So he was all shocked by all the coworkers showing up. He told me then the detective came and he was in the shower and like he was just really like he just couldn't get himself out of that situation in that moment because he didn't even think that was gonna happen. So that's why it seemed so unprepared because he just really thought he just thought he thinks he's smarter than everybody.
That's so bizarre in a way too. And I bet you can probably relate to this, is that he seems very, not like a genius, but he seems at least average to above average intelligence. So it's shocking in a way to see.
I don't know. Does he seem average to above average intelligence? I mean, he seems conniving. But I don't know if he's capable of anything.
How naive he is in certain areas.
And I think he gets that naiveness because he's like taking things from movies and shows and fiction shows and like, you know, that's he's basing and mimicking things off.
What do we need to rewatch, Cindy? I missed it. We are hearing the interview with the one who infiltrated him. What is... Cindy must have said something. We need to watch Dudley Desperate again. It's so crazy. Yeah, well, it's right here. We'll come back to it.
And is how he acts off of that, and so he kind of tried to cover it up like this.
Do you think some of that? Do you think some of that is also his narcissism of just underestimating that other people have common sense and intelligence?
I do think that. I think that he does feel like he's smarter and above average. I think he thinks he's more intelligent than most of the population. That's how he's talked to me. He thinks he's smarter than all the other inmates at Dodge, too. So he thinks that. That's why he feels so betrayed, because he doesn't realize that his own mistakes or how stupid and horrible of a thing and gruesome that he did. It's more like, oh, well, Kat and them told her mom called about turkey vultures, the co-worker. It's everybody else's fault but him. And
did I hear that right? Did he blame the turkey vultures? The stupid vultures gave me away. Fucking circling above.
He was lying for like 5-6 years, so a pathological liar on top of there, but he doesn't believe his own lies. That's the thing. He knows that he's lying. He knows, instead of a pathological liar, when you start and you do lies, normally you start believing them. Like you start believing your own lies, and that's how sometimes criminals can beat like a lie detector. He really does not believe his own lies. He knows he's lying. That's what's really weird about his personality.
Can you talk a little bit about the romance aspect? Is that how you were able to set up an in-person interview in the first place? Had you already gained that trust? And
yes, so I already gained that trust. When I went there in person, he called me on the second day when I was leaving. So I went back on that Wednesday. Tuesday I left after he told me all this stuff. I was driving back in from Dodge, and I went down to Pewaukee, and I was like going through this marsh, and he called me, and he's like, oh, I wanted to make sure you're all right. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And, you know, I have a rental car, and he's like, oh, I love you. And that's when he started love bombing me. It was like 6 months into it.
That was after you had met him or before?
After I met him.
What was that like? Were you unprepared for him to say that? Or?
Yeah, I didn't know what to say, so I couldn't even say it back. So I just didn't say anything. And he said I didn't have to say it back. You don't have to say it back, but I love you. And that's how that went. And so then he would send me, like just like I was reading you that like little card and stuff like that, like, oh, happy Easter, oh, this, that. Like the last time he's wrote me was recently, like he was mad about it. And so he was like, he's like, Lisa, hey, I'll keep this short. Did you block my calls and ghost me? I can't keep doing this. Prison's hard enough to deal with, and now I'm dealing with it alone. So go to the newest McDonald's, get their Wi-Fi, and send me a quick message to tell me what's going on. If you want me to leave you alone, then just say so. But until I get something from you, I'll be missing you. And so I wrote him on the core links and told him, no, I'm not talking to you, and you need to take accountability. Then he wrote me back. I think I have it. So he told me, hey, I'm sorry you feel gaslighted and all that, but the only person that I signed Love and Rockets is my guy from county that I got to talk to here. He always signed Love and Rockets, but he used me to get my letters and whatnot. I can send you a full one of his letters where it says that whatever this dude is saying is just for clout and money. I was very careful and never talked about my case to him or anyone for that matter but you. I didn't write like that, like you told me to. I didn't mean to diminish you on the phone. It was really nice to talk to you again. I replied to that girl again, but because she was clear about having a boyfriend, because I started catching on. I know there was no Grindr account. Again, that was Michael trying to mess with me in county. I've always had girlfriends my whole life. I like to talk to you on the phone, but it seems like you made your mind up. But for real though, Lisa, thank you for talking to me for the last 2 years. It made a difference for me with you motivating me to what I can do here. Sorry it has to end like this. I'm almost 100% positive it's my friend. Put in quotations from county. But I'm glad I got to know you're a great gal and good mom, so I hope to hear from you again. Good luck out there. I love you.
When did he send you that letter?
It was 8/23/24.
Oh, wow. So really recent.
Mm-hmm. And so I said, I understand this is probably not what you want to hear or know, but I don't want to talk to you anymore. I knew you have been writing girls and that you lie. I tried to advise you that not to lie to me. I'm sorry, but I don't believe she has a boyfriend as you're trying to claim. No one with any man is going to rape someone that's on the inside. It's also wrong that you didn't tell me a few weeks back when I asked. Also, those canteen and funds you're being funded as well as other fans trying to fish for information or let her back. You didn't tell me about this girl, and you didn't tell me about anybody sending you money. You've led me to believe that you were alone in there. I told you to be honest because my name is linked to yours, giving me death threats and all sorts. I had death threats in the past and all sorts of stuff again. I clearly thought you weren't doing any of this stuff. Do you even understand the hurt and pain that you caused people? You swore no one sent you money. You swear you don't write.
No, Jill Jane, it's just we're playing Dulce over the interview because it's audio only. I'm not connected.
Anyone, but now that's not true. I appreciate your willingness to talk, but I need to be honest about how I'm feeling. I'm not going to move past the lies and miscommunications that have come to light, especially regarding the situation with that girl and other documents I saw from Dane County. So I was kind of playing it, right? Plus, you assured me you weren't doing anything. You mentioned you replied to her, but it sounds like her clarity about having a boyfriend and being with him might not align with what I've been seen and told to me. If that's what you want, go ahead and entertain her. I thought we built a foundation, but I guess not, because all you have done is gave me inconsistencies. It's really difficult for me to ever believe in you again. I think you misled me, and this has forced me to reconsider everything and take this time I think you should take this time to reflect who you've pushed away, lied to, and hurt to, including me. I wish you the best. Take care. That was back to his, and I haven't heard from him since.
This all was basically this month.
Yes, I haven't been talking to him for a while. I moved to a different place here in Vegas. I stopped talking to him before I moved, so I want to say in April. Like I haven't been talking to him. So I blocked the prison, but I blocked it through my iPhone. So that's why he told me to go get the nearest Wi-Fi. He thinks that I don't have Wi-Fi or something like that because he said he's been trying to call me. When he was trying to call me previous, I already knew he was kind of lying to me, and I didn't want my energy mixed with it anymore, and I didn't have any use for anything else with him. I wanted to just break away from it, so I just didn't know what to do, so I just blocked him from my iPhone and stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Can you talk?
I didn't even know any like this stuff. Like I didn't know until when I went on the Reddit. I didn't even know because that his old cell. I know who that is. I know who that Michael guy. I know he spoke to me about him. So So it's like when he is cornered.
Or is that somebody?
Yes, that's the guy you talked to. So it's like when he's cornered, he'll admit to some of it, but he spins it around like, oh, he just wants clout and money. It's not true. I'll send you a letter from him. It's like, I don't want to see the letter here. And he's like, that is how he writes. That is a real letter that is on that Reddit. I know people question that is him. That is Chandler. So yeah,
And
and
this
then
was-
I didn't know about him writing other girls and stuff. He told me he was all alone. So then all of a sudden he's telling me, no, the girl's writing him. That girl, it's this girl who's from Ohio, and she is one of those fan girls who has been sending him money and packages and stuff like that. So I guess he must be, and I'm sure he's been talking to a bunch of other people this whole time. But this whole time he kept, he would lead me to believe that there was no, like, he's so alone. Just like I told you in the letter I just read, oh, I'm so alone. You left me alone in here. And he goes, you're not alone. Like, you're not alone. You write people. He didn't even tell me that guy writes, and he told me that the one you interviewed, that his old bunkie, that he didn't even talk to him and he wasn't writing him any letters back. He's very manipulative and making people try to believe he has, and he won't ask for money. He'll do it in a way so he'll try, like, he's like, try to get, like, he'll get, like, he did tell me, like, got money from some guy in Canada who was like an author's writing a book about him. I didn't know about.
Got money from some guy in Canada. What's his number?
About that, I saw something on like YouTube or something. I'm like, wait, what? And then I asked him, you have a book getting written about you? Like, I don't want to be in a book. I don't want my name linked to this anymore. And that's when he said, oh yeah, he's gonna write the book with or without me, but they gave me a chance to give my side of the story, but I'm not going to.
Right, so it's just going to be his side of the author. We're going to do a tell-all book. Do you want to share your point of view? No. Well, we're writing it anyway. Nice.
And this guy sent him money. So, yeah,
And
he's
he would
very
kinda
manipulative.
confess
So
this
he
to
gets
you
it kind of,
he would feel
after
guilty
the fact.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd find out through the public, and I keep telling him, your case is like, literally. I don't understand. He understands his is a high profile case. It was on court TV. Like, anything that comes out about his case is going to be in the public. So he just thinks it's some little rinkety dinkety case, and no, nothing's gonna come back or find out anything. So I found out from on YouTube or something that there's a book getting written about him. And then I asked him on like a message, like an electronic message. Then he admitted to me that someone is writing a book with or without his side of the story. They just giving him a chance to say his side. And I don't know, maybe one day he will tell people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't know if he will.
Do you know any of the timeline for the appeals that he is trying to file?
Let's see. So he filed, I'm trying to look back at my little e-message. Some of it's like the races after. So they filed the no merit, and then after they filed the no merit, he filed the appeal. He had like, I think 30 days after that no merit. And he filed it, and I think he filed it on...
What's the Canadian guy's defect? I think the clue is contained within the question.
He told me the grounds were, he's going to say that they wouldn't let him change counties. That he needed a different county. That it was biased because the media. His defense was inadequate. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah. His defense was inadequate, but I mean, what did they have to work with? It ended up just being Attorney Vera getting up at the end and accusing the jury of being unethical. And saying, if you wish that somebody would burst through the courtroom door with a videotape, then you have reasons to doubt.
He did it himself, so I just try to think off the top of my head.
It was kind of brilliant in its simplicity. I've never seen anything quite like it. How do you make a case out of nothing? Well, I guess you do a 5-minute opening statement and bumblefuck your way through that. What did she say? She called them the the Halbersons or something.
What he said, but I don't know, like the other inmates had like helped him write it in legal terms. But
Right.
that's what he's trying to go to try to get. So he's trying to get a new trial
Right.
in hopes that he'll get. And then he said, if I don't get out, then I'm going to get like legislation will change and I'm going to get out one day. So he thinks in his head he's going to eventually get out. That's why he won't tell his side, because he doesn't want to ruin it. He doesn't understand that appeal is only based off the case that was in court. They aren't going to go back, and they're not going to do all this stuff. They're not going to go, use what you told your grandma or me. It's off what happened at trial, and the trial was he did it, and that he's guilty, and that's it. Like, it's not going to change. I tried to tell him that, but he just thinks that it will. I don't know. It's very delusional.
Yeah, and then she said something like, but what did happen? What happened to the Haldersons? What happened in that Haldersons' home? I've always loved that. But what did happen? What happened to the Haldersons? What happened in that Haldersons' home?
Can you talk a little bit about, I know this is probably uncomfortable, but Can you talk a little bit about, I know this is probably uncomfortable, but the death threats and how this all came to be?
Yeah, so when it was through Reddit, so I guess what happened was I'd already went there and visited in person. I didn't even know people would like look into it. I think it was someone up from Canada or whatnot. I did see here and there on Reddit, they're like, oh, it wasn't even me. They were like, someone's paying for his like packages or like his canteen, like it's quarterly, like every 3 months. So if it's like starts in July 1st, it's for that 3 months, and you can only get hygiene if someone sends it to you from the outside. So he can buy like toothpaste and stuff there, but not really. There's some stuff they cannot buy. It has to be sent from the outside. So he's been having people send him stuff. So what happened is people went to try to see what is. Someone paid a Freedom of Information request to get the visitor record, which had my name on it, and they knew I went in person. Reddit's deleted some of it now, like I didn't see it when I was on there, but they had the visitor log up, and the guy posted, he was from Canada, and it had my name, and it had the day I visited in person, and they were they'd seen my profile. So they started looking, since it has my first and last name, they found my Instagram, my Facebook, my address. People were sending me death threats on them. There's a post from me on Facebook, like from my Facebook, where I told someone I'm not going to talk to the public, and they shared that to the Reddit, and then people kind of roasted me like, oh, that means just ask me anything, stuff like that. Before that, though, it was really bad on his Reddit. I mean, they had my name, my picture, like my address. They totally doxed me. And I went to his moderator because it's funny, the same moderator of his Reddit, I'm in Flight Friends. So when Gabby Petito's case was going on and they were looking for Brian Laundrie out there in Florida, I would be watching on my little flight thing, right? And so I'd be on the Flight Friends, and I still have that. And like they talk about different flights. And so I asked the moderator to remove some of it. She said she would, but some of it she couldn't because of it being a public Freedom of Information request. So people would write me, sometimes women, sometimes men, but most of the death threats were like, oh, you're in love with him. Oh, you should die. Like, we hope, like wishing bad and harm on me. And that's why I didn't want to talk. And for a while, I got like nervous. I didn't know. I didn't even think about it in person. When I went in person, that someone was going to dox my information like this. They were all thinking his grandma bought his stuff and everything. So then they assumed I bought it, and it wasn't even me. It's other fan people. Like there's multiple fans. He has fans, like fan people, like guys too. People write him from England, from like all over Ireland, Canada.
Wow.
And they're always constantly, like people are constantly sending him stuff. So then they went to dig in. They pulled up that they got the Freedom of Information of who's on his visitor list, which was me, because I had to be approved by Dodge and fill out the little form. So they got all these visits, and people were like, oh, she's a frequent flyer, because I obviously came from Vegas out there, and I didn't know no one would listen to, no one would want to hear my story in that moment, because everyone had their assumptions in their minds made up of what I was already, and the stuff I was getting in my Facebook was like, you're going to die on a hill. You're going to mess up your job. You're messing up your life. Like, you're this, like, just kind of very rude stuff, wishing me harm. And they assumed that it was me doing it, but he's been taken care of by other people, not me. So,
what is Flight Friends? I've never heard of that.
It's like a Reddit Flight Friends. So, like, there's
I was just wondering that. Does anybody know what Flight Friends is?
there's like a Flight Radar 24. It's this little app you could have, and you can watch a bunch of flights throughout the world and throughout the country. And so when in Florida, when Brian Laundrie was hiding out there, they were like circling, so you can like, we were watching to see, and like the planes would go out. I still have that flight things. I'm interested in planes and stuff like that anyway. And so you can see like all the flights leaving, and then some of it's kind of creepy because.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that good. Well, it's just like a list of when a plane takes off and lands in its destination. That fucking come on, we can do better than that.
There was a plane crash. You could actually see the descent like go down and things.
You can actually see the crash. You can see the bodies on fire falling from the sky. She's sick, this woman. She's fucking looking at plane crashes. She's becoming love interests with psychos to go and visit them in jail. You can actually see the plane crash. The fuck?
Like that. So it's real time, real tracking. When my daughter's flown to see her family in different parts, I've been able to track her flight on there because you just need to know the flight number. So when you go board your plane, if you're flight 228 or whatever, you know, you can track it. And it shows the whole world too. So that moderator kind of knew me. So she did have some of that stuff removed, but that's initially how my name got put out, was people were thinking, who's sending him stuff? We're going to dig into this further. And then, oh, here's her the visitor log, and now it must be her. Right. And now they must be dating, and she must be in love with him, and I must be this fangirl, and that's completely not true. So I am not a fan person like that at all. I just got caught up in a thing trying to do a project that turned into like I didn't know how to get out of it type thing.
Do you still feel like you're kind of caught in it, or do you feel comfortable with your place in it now?
I'm glad to be away, my energy away from all of that, and like I have no regrets about like not talking to him ever again. I just get a little nervous because I don't know. I'm sure some people might not, still like me or have assumptions about me, and that's fine. It's just I wanted to know the truth to be told of like what I knew, because my intentions were never. I don't want my name to be linked with his in a way that it seems like because I actually am in a relationship, so I don't want my name being linked with him as if I'm really with him. So now there's a book being written. Now what's going to happen, because there's assumptions about my name out there, and I don't want to be in a book. And that's when I was like, what is going on? You didn't tell me there's a book being written. And and that stuff's out there. My name is out there at this point. So it's like the public assumed stuff, and so I wanted to kind of like make sure I did try to write 48 hours like a couple months back. And like let them know who I was, because they did a piece on him, and then I was kind of like I don't know, had unfollowed his Reddit because of the harassment I was getting. So then I went back on there to see what was new, like what was people saying. I don't think I've been on since like last year, and that's when I had saw and then I started writing people back, because I'm at the point where now I feel more confident and comfortable that I can defend myself or like say my side of the story, where before I was really nervous because I kept getting threats and people would actually write me, and I had to turn off all my messaging, all my like adding me as a friend, everything, because I would just be getting messages and people adding me from all over parts. It just messages all the time. It's like some of my stuff, you can't even send me a message because people were writing me horrible stuff and assuming like things about me. And if I tried to write back at that time, they were just sharing it to Reddit. And so I wasn't going to be able to get anything across.
Right.
How
many messages do you think you received? Just a guess.
15 to 20 from different people.
Yeah,
and different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Snapchat. I had to delete my whole Snapchat because all of those were always linked with my real name, so everybody would just look me up and find me. And so I had to like change some of my names, like my name on those apps, so that people can find me as easy. And it was a little scary, and they had my address out there, and I thought maybe someone was going to come to my house or do something to me and stuff like that. So I moved and stuff, and it just got like, it just spun so out of control that. And I understand, because as a true crime fan, and watching other cases or watching like a show, you kind of get immersed into it, and you feel like, okay, and then you're like, you get really mad because you're feeling a certain way, and now you're mad at that person because they think I'm the one helping, or I'm this thing, and they want him to suffer in there, and that's what it is. It comes down to people want him to pay his consequences, and he is in his way, but he not really. I mean, I don't think he ever is going to ever very regretful or remorseful, and he kind of does have a mate in there because he does have all these fan people doing stuff for him. He's in a working prison, so he makes his own money anyway. So if he does, I mean, it's $21 a month. It's not very much, 28 cents an hour or something. So, I mean, he's in Dodge, and when he first got there was gangs and stuff there, and he had a couple fights. Like, he told me he had a fight in the freezer, fight in the shower. They'd call him the butcher. They say, you're the butcher. You dismembered your parents. So he's got it from other people who actually are in there for something else, that are like pissed off that he took out his family and they can't see their family. And so he's had that happen. And then they did kind of like rearrange Dodge a little bit, where they moved some of the gang people away to Fox Lake. And like, he's kind of, like I said, they moved Chris Watts to his unit. He's more with the like child molesters and people who've killed their own kids and their parents or their family or their wife, or Chris Watts, like Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. So they don't harm each other because they all did the same thing. So they see nothing wrong with anything they do.
And you said he's become friends with Chris Watts. Works out.
Yes, he talks to Chris. Yes, he works out with him and stuff. And then there's the other guy that's in there. He was Joyce Meyer's bodyguard. His name's Christopher. I'll look up his name. He killed his wife, and he killed his family, this too. And I think he wrote Christopher Coleman. So he murdered his wife Sherry and their sons Garrett 11 and Gavin 9 in 2009. And he was a bodyguard for Joyce Meyer, and he was convicted of first-degree murder. So Chris Watts is in Wisconsin because they tried to hurt him, and so that's kind of like what happened. Same thing with this guy. He's from Illinois, that crime happened in, so everybody gets moved to this Dodge because it's where the family murder people go. So it's like protected in that section. So they have that, and then you have the child molesters and stuff like that, and then you got like the other end of it, of the Dodge, where they keep the ways, like, people who are in there for like other crimes, or like it's transitional. So some people go into Dodge, but they might not see Chris Watts and like Chandler and them because they're in like a different unit. Sometimes they may, because Chandler was, last I knew, was working as the dental little clerk, where they go and he gets.
How weird is that to imagine Chandler Halderson working out with Chris Watts, Minister Watts, running a little ministry in jail now. It was all for a purpose. It led him to the Lord.
To walk in the hallway and stuff, and Chris Watts is a custodian, so sometimes people will see them, and so some people do say stuff to them, like, and it's transition, so someone might be in there for like a gang thing, or not even for a murder, and like they're getting put somewhere else. So they moved these other guys there from Illinois or Colorado and put them to Wisconsin. So he's never going to get moved out of Dodge. He's tried, and they told him that it will be a no, because there's no other prison that they keep the people, because it's like if something happens to them or one of them, the prison's going to get in trouble. So while everybody wants something to happen, it is protected in a way.
Right.
And that's who his inmate mentor is. So he has a mentor, and that's that Christopher Coleman. So his mentor is who he goes, and they meet like once a month.
Christopher Coleman as well. I mean, he actually is a minister, isn't he?
And like he'll help with the appeal, or if he has questions about like the prison life or what. I don't really know everything they talk about. It's not recorded, but he said he's still like he's supposed to see a therapist, like a psychiatrist. He won't talk to the psychiatrist even about any of this. He refuses to talk to them. He says because they're going to write it down and they're going to use it against him for his appeal. So he doesn't even talk in his therapy when he has scheduled therapy. He's more so just wants to try to get out and get a new trial. He's not very like trying to even better himself.
Right, he doesn't see anything wrong with his mind, unfortunately.
And there's like times when he's like taking his medicines and told me he's like hid it under his tongue in a certain way and not taking his medicine at all, because he says when he takes the medicines he's numb, like feels kind of numbed out, and it makes him sleep. So if he's like he has a TV in a cell, he has a radio, so he will watch TV and stuff, so he won't take his medicine on nights he watches or whatever he'll watch. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but like he watched like a sci-fi show, or like they get a lot of old channels, like the British channels and stuff like that. So he does have stuff. That's why one of the moms I help with someone to get death row, but death row also can get TV, so it's kind of like they kind of do get stuff, but I mean, you know.
Did he ever mention video gaming? And I know you said
he always video
games.
He still plays video games. He has a tablet. They have tablets. They're given a tablet at Dodge. So they have a little tablet. That's how you can e-message me. And whoever's, I don't know who's helping him. I mean, he could probably put money on from his paycheck and stuff. So people always say it's restitution. Well, they don't take any money out for restitution. So when people are sending him these stuffs, they're not taking restitution out. Like there is no, he's not paying anything back. So like if he puts whatever, I'm not sure how much it is. So say you get this tablet and all of them get one, and they have to put money on it. So if he wants to put money on it, or someone like sends him money and he puts it on the tablet, he can listen to music, he can play video games, and he can watch movies on there. The movies come out a little like say Jurassic World, like they might get that movie like delayed, you know, from the outside world.
Oh, he can only watch Jurassic World a month delayed. Is that the
right? But he does have an opportunity to purchase that stuff, so he will play. And has told me he has played video games on the tablet, and that's what he did that's all he would do when he told me he would on the outside. He played video games, like he'd be isolated in his room, and when his parents thought he was actually working, and he wasn't working at all, just playing that game. But their games are a little bit different.
To it, or did he feel like he was addicted?
No, he never said anything about feeling like he was addicted to it or anything like that.
Yeah. That's one of my
just a
initial
normal part of life.
But
no, he just did it because he was trying to pretend he was working. So sometimes he said to me, like in person, like he would like, so he wasn't always playing that video game. Like he would play it, but then he would like go to sleep too. And then that's why he'd be isolating, because it was during because some of this happened during COVID. COVID kind of gave him the cover. So then he's like, oh, I have to work from home for American Family Insurance, right? So when he told me his dad was also working from home, but him and his dad, he said, didn't talk. So they text message each other, email each other. His mom would try to talk to him and come in his room, okay? So his dad and him, even if they were in the same house, according to Chandler, they would text each other or email each other. So he would hide out and he would pretend he was working. So that's why he told me, oh, I wasn't eating. I was miserable with life because I was so involved with this lie. I couldn't come out of my room because my dad thinks I'm working, and they'd run into each other. So he would try to purposely avoid Bart while they'd be home during the whole COVID thing. So that gave him a lot of cover because of the work from home. I think that's why they didn't question it for so long, because they're like, when he didn't get his paycheck and stuff.
And then one thing you just mentioned really briefly was, is it maybe his signature on his letters was Love and Rockets, or something to do with Love and Rockets?
That's what his old bunkie writes. That's what his old bunkie writes to him. I don't know why. Because I asked him, why did you have Grindr on the outside? And that's when he's like, I never had Grindr. I always had girlfriends. That's my bunkie. Oh, he signs it Love and Rockets. I can send you one of his letters. Like, I don't care. Like, see, he always has a cover. He tries to always cover up for something.
It's interesting.
But
It's
he
always
told
some
me
kind
that
of
that
lie.
person was never writing him. Like, he told me, oh, they ghosted me. They don't write me. I'm so alone. I don't have anybody. It's not true. I don't. He probably has a lot more people he talks to than
Interesting to. I mean, it would feel a bit.
Yeah. So I finished that degree, and
It's pretty cool how they found out the. This all came about because somebody else got the visitor records for Chandler Halderson, who had visited him in jail, and it had this Lisa. What do you call it? Bathroom stuff. What do you call that? Toiletries and hygiene stuff, right? Hygiene and body care, lotion. A lot of lotion.
I graduated, and I'm finishing up my bachelor's, like I said. So I have a degree with my major's criminal justice, and now I'm getting a bachelor's in criminal justice with a minor in psychology. However, I'm using it to go on, and I want to work with juveniles and do some kind of social work and help the youth. So I'm not gonna kind of be like doing this after I've been involved with all these, plus the local cases. I've been doing this for so long, and after I've had experience with Chandler, I don't want to mix my energy anymore with that side. I want to help the youth so they don't do this to their parents or hurt anybody else. So that's what I'm going for.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and everything. And
thank you for letting me share my story and like being willing to talk to me and not judge me, or like let me have my side, my side of what I know, what I've been through with it. So
yeah, it's fascinating.
Well, you know,
on one part, I was envious that you got to talk with Chandler, but now after hearing your whole story, I think I'm not as envious.
Yeah.
Anymore, unfortunately.
No, I don't think anybody, and he is very, very manipulative. So it's easier. It's easy for him to manipulate someone who's very.
Look at Attorney Brown there with his Christmas Starbucks coffee. Do you think that's a special blend, or? And what's Attorney? I forget the lady's name, but is that a Panera?
Naive and doesn't know anything about criminal justice at all.
Yeah.
So that's why when he said that girl's still writing him again, she is from like Ohio or somewhere, and like she's now going to end up being his next victim.
What's that coffee cup at the end? We've got Attorney Brown with the Starbucks, but the three defense attorneys have the white cup with the brown sleeve and some kind of a little logo there. Does anybody recognize that logo? I want to know where the beans are from.
Uncomfortable, correct? Talking about it.
Very.
So when we saw you, that was just you being uncomfortable about Cress being topless and Chandler having to see that, correct?
Both.
She's going to start crying again.
Both the fact that she was topless and the fact that
I think she thinks she's on trial for
Chandler had to see.
No, that the fact that she was topless and that Chandler came in the pool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the murder, not the blood, not what he had just done. Okay, thank you, Dulce Melander. Thank you. It's beautiful. It's like a paradise. We're going to have to go for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow and every day next until at least the first of the month. Good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for chatting, super coffee go getting, super sticker giving, super bulletproof metrics moderating, just for being here with us. That was Lisa G with the interview into the Chandler Halderson expose. The mole, the love mole, the fake love mole. Questionable methods? Maybe. She seems to regret it, doesn't she? I mean, she's like, I wish I didn't do this. He's weird. He's really weird. And angry. Sounds like such a fuckhead as well, doesn't he? I mean, really. Oh, I've got a hole in my shoe. I can't afford new shoes. Yeah, no, they don't let us buy hygiene products. That the only way that can be done is if someone buys them from the outside. So although you did put some money on my books, I'm gonna have to ask that you order some hygiene products as well. Just never ends. But we're ending right now, right on 3 hours, 29 seconds and counting. Good job, everybody. See you tomorrow. Good night.